Hello, hello. There we go. Howdy, Tice. I definitely will pretend you're here. Hope your hope your task is going well, or redesigning my base, whichever one you're working on. Oh, that's a mistake. Which I mean that makes sense. We're gonna have a lot of those, and that's where we're gonna have like a whole week that's just like stress testing random components, and then we'll just run it. But it's oh yeah. Speaking of, there is a good chance we won't be doing this September 1st like I had planned. We'll see how this week goes. But I have to miss a lot of streams this month to watch my nephew. So there is a good chance that will delay burner stuff by about a week. But we'll see. I might be closer to finishing than I thought, but if I have to miss like 4 streams this month, that's like a whole week shifted. So we'll see. We'll play it by ear, but yeah, that's just wanted to point that out. Let's see. You got distracted by a Reddit comment and made a new mod of shotgun rebalance. Let's see, rebalancing the shotguns by making them available earlier and generally stronger. Oh, this isn't a meme. This is just like an actual tweak. Ooh, piercing shells after military 2 and shotgun damage from as early as they researched. Okay. Wait, what's military 1 and 4? Oh wait, like you get the bonus when you unlock military the first time. Okay. That's cool. No, I get that. Shotguns are I feel like by the time I finally get a piercing shotgun, I don't care about shotguns anymore, and I'm just using like a rocket or like laser bots. Or just combat robots. So yeah, that makes a lot of sense. Okay. So I have an outpost here. Now these values aren't perfectly accurate. I don't know why there are speed modules. Oh, those are for okay, those don't go in. These two don't go in the outpost. We'll have to rearrange stuff a little bit because this isn't perfect, but this should give me a general idea of how I need to fill stuff up. Shotguns are kind of bad, so they shouldn't be high tech. Yeah, I with tons of upgrades they're good, but also with tons of upgrades everything's good. If you don't have a source of uranium, they are decent for clearing biter bases. I'll give them that. Also, I think we can tone down a lot of our fuel production because there is a well, maybe not a lot because of latency. It would probably be best to actually keep most of it. But I realized last stream that sending fuel to the outpost is actually not that beneficial for the amount of work it would be to set up. So I can send an entire train of fuel, right? And I save like 4 minutes on the run or something like that. It's not because it basically would just get each outpost up like 4 minutes earlier, which gives me 4 minutes more of production. That's not a lot for an entire train of fuel. So we probably won't be doing that. It complicates the logistics too much, and I think would honestly delay setting up outposts by more than it's worth. So yeah, right now, I think we decided that I wanted a symmetrical train, which makes me think I'll probably want 2 outposts, right? It would be interesting to remove the movement penalty of the pistol, which could give it some utility. Ooh, that would be really cool. Can you do that? Is that a value? I just kind of assumed the movement penalty was the same for all of them. I mean, I guess you said it would be interesting. I'm assuming it's somewhat possible. I guess there aren't that many things that aren't possible, but I'm always surprised whenever there are like some weird limitations. You can, it's not the same. Okay, that's neat. Yeah, that would make it a little better. Even if it wasn't like removed entirely, would still be kind of nice. Honestly, even with the way it works now, it kind of has a reduced movement penalty because it just fires less frequently. It's still not perfect, but I think you can be a little bit more mobile using a pistol, right? Let's see, where are cargo wagons? For some reason, I could not find those. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3. Okay, so we can fit this. And then these induce nothing but drag, I was told. Let's see, pistol is 0.2, submachine gun is 0.7, shotgun is 0.6. What if we should make the shotgun, you should make the shotgun like -1, but only when you're walking backwards. It propels you backwards as you fire it. Actually, I've been playing a game that does that. It's really fun. Not with shotguns, but I don't know if anyone's ever heard of Earth Defense Force. I just realized I didn't announce the stream. Uh, but when you fire a rocket in the game, it launches you back, so you can use that to like fly backwards really fast. Although I feel like in this case it wouldn't really. I don't know. Maybe it would work. It would add some. Actually, isn't there already some specific spot you can shoot at that does extra damage with the shotgun? Like I thought there was some weirdness, like where if you fire a shotgun too close to you, it fires twice or fires backwards. I don't know. I wonder how that would break movement speed if firing it shot you backwards, because that seems like it could cause problems. Burner designing now TTV. There we go. But yeah, I know there's some weird mechanic with shotguns. I don't know if it was fixed. But I think it had something to do with clicking close enough to you that it fired both directions. But did it do half the damage? I feel like there's a downside. I don't know. I could be making the entire thing up too. That's also very possible. But it looks like we can fit 7. We can fit up to 9 trains if we really want. If we do a 9-2. It's not amazing, but we can make it work. Because the advantage of doing 9-2, the train will move slower, but it will fill a lot faster. I don't know which one's more important. I think filling speed is more important because of burner inserters. But we'll see. Is there an entity counter? Is that a thing? Actually, not entity counter. Is there a stack counter? Or any way to like take a blueprint and turn it into a bunch of chests? I don't know if that makes sense. Final outpost. Wait, didn't I already put this on my hotbar? There we go. Negative penalty. Heck yes. Does it actually just make that when you're firing you go backwards faster? Or does it do something better? But yeah, the point I was trying to get across, I want to know how many stacks in the train this would take, but I don't think that's really that realistic. If I had to guess, though, these are most of our stacks and most of our entities. Actually, wait a minute. I care about entities, not stack size. I care about entity count. There has to be an entity count. Factorio entity counter for a blueprint. Is that... I mean, I could just manually add it. Let's see, this has... I don't know how this works. I found a script that might do what I want. But I don't know if it actually does what I want. You know what? Let's just pull out the calculator. It's not that hard. It'll be faster at this rate. 2400. Actually, we're going to round everything up 20 by 100. 2500 plus 22,300 plus 2300 plus 600 plus 420 plus 420 plus 360 plus 290 plus, because I don't need an exact value. Okay, never mind. This is taking longer than I thought. Plus 270 plus 250 plus 150 plus 150. Yeah, this was not ideal. Never mind. This is way worse than I thought. Plus 75 plus 75 plus. I'm just rounding things a lot because I would rather overestimate. 50 plus 50 plus 20. Okay, 10,000 entities roughly. Um, that's decent. Okay, so we have 10,000 entities. We need to fill the station ideally in 2 minutes. Okay, so that tells me, let's see how many inserters I need. So we can move 1.6 items per second. 10,000, 1, 2, 3, divided by 1.6. So divided by however many seconds I have. So let's say I said 2 minutes. So I needed 52 inserters to fill the train as fast as I would like. Ooh, that is actually not as bad as I thought. We have 7 wagons. We might be able to do this. So hear you out. Okay, let's remove most of the character speed and just give massive negative penalties for shooting. Then the only way to move about is to shoot or stand on belts. Now no, you're onto something there. And it also makes it that moving is like a resource cost. You can either spend the extra time to stand on a belt, or you can waste iron and also destroy your factory to go faster. That's definitely something. I like it. But yeah, we need about 5 train wagons, and it looks like we'll need... Well, actually, 2 minutes is a bit of a low ball for sure, since we need the train to fill in 2 minutes, empty in 2 minutes. That's giving me 6 minutes of travel time. That's probably a lot, so I can probably aim for like 3. So yeah, I don't think with this length of a train we're going to have an issue. Now what we do have to do is have a separate train that moves fuel around. Or sorry, not a separate train that moves fuel around. Will this work? Okay, so this is 84. That's actually not too bad. And then for unloading, we can do a much better ratio. Okay, I think I've got this. Or for unloading, we can do fewer inserters because they're going chest to train. But this section right here is not chest to train, which complicates things. So currently this middle section, we don't actually have moving anything other than a roboport. We can make it move other things though. And then we either need to fill every inserter with coal and load solid fuel onto the train, or fill every inserter with solid fuel and put coal onto the train, because if we have if every inserter is able to put fuel inside the train, it will back up, which is bad. We have made that mistake before. And I think fuel first. I have to double check unloading order. Now, emptying wise, it doesn't matter. Okay. Yeah. Okay. So we do want fuel first, or fuel last. And then in the middle one, we actually want robots to be... Well, fuel last, and then robots also last. I think we can put other stuff in here. Now, I don't know how many construction bots we need. I definitely don't know how many construction bots we need. I need to look at the actually good outposts and see what they use. Now, the thing is, we are aiming to do outposts half as fast. So realistically, if we have twice the entities, we can do the same amount. The exact same amount of robots would be a good estimate. Because we have about double entities per outpost. We're aiming for half the speed per outpost, because burner insert, I just don't see myself doing more than 1 outpost every 10 minutes. I mean, it's hard enough to get the resources for that. And then burner inserter. Okay, so we're dividing everything among 6 for the really high entity count items like this. Actually, you know what? I'm going to take a snipping tool and add this. Maybe even add it as an overlay so people can see what I'm referencing. That should be pretty easy, right? Let's see. Add image. entity count. Browse. There we go. Okay. These are our goal numbers while I'm setting trains. So that way I don't have to keep a reference image up all the time and keep opening the blueprints. Okay, so we have 2,400 each of all of these. So that's 6 trains. Cool. What does that tell me? Not much. 6 trains tells me I need... Oh, wait. Actually, hold on. Also, how much fuel do these consume? That's also something we need to test. Okay. So we're gonna do 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1. Okay, so they will all take... They take 12, so they'll take a total of 12 times 6, 72. So 2 stacks should be enough to empty a train. Because now these are good for... Well, actually, those just went onto the ground. But, I mean, filling themselves, it looks like it only takes 3. So that is 100 items... No, 60 items each. 160 items per inserter. You know what? Let's do solid fuel. Yeah, we definitely need to do solid fuel. This gives us 3 times the entities moved per tile, which not a huge deal, but having some wiggle room would be immensely helpful. But yeah, we need these numbers divided by 2, so that is, or divided by 6. So that's about 400 in each train. So that's 8 stacks of burner inserters. 4 stacks of transport belts, and 8 stacks of underbelts. This feels like I don't have enough trains already. But I think after this, like, a lot of stuff is going to go in here. Like, a lot of the low entity count items. Or, yeah, will go in here. Like assembling machines and stuff, so it should be okay. And then we'll probably disable inserters once the train fills. Yeah, that would make sense. Hello, Walden. Welcome. Okay, and then yeah, if we need to make it symmetrical. That's the thing. It needs to be symmetrical. It doesn't need to have entirely even wagons. It's just these are all our highest entity count things, so I wanted to split these out. And then if we do 2 stacks of burner drills in each one, that'll also work. Okay, so that's good. How many stacks of furnaces is that? That is unfortunately 7 stacks of furnaces, but that means 1 stack in each train. We're basically limited to 12. I might be putting too many items. Hold on, let's see. This is 800. We're doing 400 entities in each, right? So 400 divided by 120. We need to move 3 entities per second. So we only need 2 inserters per each of these to fill the thing in 2 minutes. So that's actually not too bad there. I don't know, it feels really bad. But we can do 3 entities, or 3 inserters for each of these, or 2 inserters for each of these, actually. And then 1 inserter each for this one and this one. I think we'll be okay. Prod modules, efficiency modules. Okay, so this is... We really need to keep track of our entity count, don't we? Yeah, we do. Okay. We've already filled up so much of the train. Oh, we also need inserters, which is also 6 stacks, or sorry, splitters. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Oh, we can't do this. Okay, so that is unfortunate. We no longer, I think after this portion, we can no longer do a perfectly symmetrical. We can still do a symmetrical design, but we can't do symmetrical design times 3. So now we have to start getting into the more tedious the more tedious splits. Okay, so let's do all the modules, and then it needs to be symmetrical, so we need to split between these two and these two. So let's do efficiency modules, split into 2 trains. That is unfortunately going to be a 4 and a 5, which is not symmetrical. So I think we'll put the other one in the middle, because theoretically this train can get all of like the surplus, and it might work. We might have to. I might have to just accept that I'm doing 5 and 5. But yeah, the more I click, the more I'm realizing we might struggle. we might struggle a bit to fill the train. But you know what? Let's I keep forgetting. We still have these 2 wagons as well. And if this can move in 2, this can move in 2 as well. Actually, if this can move in 2, this can move as 1 because the stack size is high enough. Okay. So this is 2 inserters, 2 inserters, 2 inserters. So that's 2, 2, 2. That's 6 inserters, 7 inserters, 8 inserters. So how should I keep track of this? Okay, so we're up to that. So we have 3 inserters left that we can use here. Yeah, I think this will work. So this right here is a running total of how many inserters we're using based on how the splits of the belts are performed. And then we might have to put like an extra stack in all of these. That won't affect how many inserters we need, but rounding wise, it does look like we haven't done enough inserters, or actually just inserters. It looks like we haven't done enough inserters. Unfortunately, why can't I clear this? There we go. Unfortunately for me, there isn't a great way to put them. I might be able to cram them in the middle. I'll leave one spot free just in case. So you uploaded a video of the negative speed penalties. Look at you being able to upload something within seconds. So does this show us what happens if it goes backwards? No, wait, am I able to pull this up? Wait, what is this? Why are... Oh, this is the only shooting while... The only moving while shooting thing? Oh, that's... Okay. Which part of this is the negative penalty? Or is that the negative penalty? Making you faster. For some reason, I thought it was going to make you go backwards. But that does make more sense. Yeah, now that I've said it out loud, it seems pretty obvious that that's how that would work. Okay, productivity modules. I was just thinking of the one time I moonwalked, where the goal was a little bit different whenever you walked backwards. Okay. So we've done... Oh, I got rid of steel furnaces here. Okay, steel furnaces have a pretty high count. Why did I remove steel furnaces from all of them, actually? Oops. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so this is... Oh, that's why I removed steel furnaces from all of them, right. Okay, let's not put steel furnaces in all of them, actually. It doesn't divide well. It doesn't need to divide among 50, so it would need a double stack in the middle, which is possibly okay. So we're at... We're good on speed efficiency modules, we're good on prod modules, we haven't done splitters yet. This one technically has 2 free slots available, so it could do splitters, and it could do... It can't do red... I don't think it can necessarily do red belt. Actually, we could do red belt, I think. I don't think we can do red underbelt here. But we can do red belt. Okay, and that gives me 3 extra slots if I realize any of these values are off. Like burner drills, if I want to include extra burner drills, or burner inserters. I think this is reasonable. Okay, and that uses all 12, I believe. Let's see. 1, 3, 5. Yeah, 1, 3, 5, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Okay, perfect. The penalty is -10 here, but the character is running at 0.02, so shooting makes that 0.2. Okay, so it's like a multiplier. I figured it would be additive. I don't know why, but I just figured they would kind of add together. I guess I haven't really looked into it much inside and with the actual shooting mechanics. Okay, let's do assembling machines here. That makes sense to do for the next layer. Okay, so that is, let's keep a running total. 1, 1, 3, 1, 3, 5, 7, 8, 9, 10. Wait, is that right? 1, 3, 5, 7, 8, 9, 10. I'm already at 10. Okay. I forgot how many inserters we have to have inside every single machine for this to work. I might have to change the balance of the transfer belts in some of them, which is totally fine. So like what we can do, right, if I don't have enough inserters, we can put more burner inserters. We can put more, let's say, burner drills in this train and less in this one. Well, oh, that's a great. Is it a fun? Has it been a fun mod? I could definitely do that as a meme run. It's I would have to actually dedicate a button to firing, which I haven't had in the longest time. But I could see myself doing that as a meme run Monday sometime. Okay, what am I missing? I still haven't done furnaces, right? So these are up to 10. And then if we do 200 in each, 200 divided by 120, technically one inserter works. It's pushing it. I'm assuming about 2.5 minutes to 3 minutes to fill a train is good. So yeah, we can do steel furnaces. And that puts it at 11. I like how I am copying it every time, even though I could just do one entire half and then do the other one later. But copying it is nice because it makes it that I have a backup, which is very useful for when I miscount. Negative walking speed makes it even more absurd. Nice. I'm glad it doesn't break it. It's always fun when negative just makes it fun and a little bit goofy, but still possible. You know what I should do? Can I draw on this? I have an idea. Paint.net. New. Let's do 50 by 50. We're gonna make a check mark. That didn't work. Okay. I have an idea, so that way we can keep track of things better. We're gonna take this PNG, check mark, flatten, image, check mark, browse. Here, watch this. Boom. Now we can keep track of what we've done. Yeah. I mean, there's probably ways I could have done this in the game, but I like the little image that I have on the side. Okay, it tries to like auto snap, which is why they're not perfectly aligned. Let's see, getting stuck somewhere without something to shoot is however painful, but we like pain. It's painful, but it's not like soft lockable. That's the important thing. It's suffering, but I can escape. Okay, I need to recount. Jeez, it takes so long to save now. Let's see, 1, 3, 5, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Okay, we still have one inserter available to us. What should we put in here? Substations? We could do substations, I think, pretty easily. Okay, perfect. Actually, let's not do substations. Let's do chemical plants. Because chemical plants take up a lot of slots, right? They stack to 10. So they'll take like 4 slots, but they don't take a lot of entities. Hello, Arthurs. Welcome, welcome. Yeah, we're doing burner design, and we're trying to set up a train right now. We're trying to fill our train. We're not trying to fill it perfectly right now. Like, we're leaving a little bit of wiggle room, just in case we have to change our entity count a little bit. But for the most part, these numbers in the top left is, I'd say, largely the finalized outpost. Now, radars, I don't know if that's something we want to ship. Well, we do have a ton of inserters here. So these can theoretically do 12 items separately, because none of these have to double up. Actually, these have to double up. But everything else that we put in this one won't need a double inserter. Actually, we should probably get a robo count, now that I think about it. Okay, so the starting value for all of these, I believe, is 7. 1, 3, 5, 7, 8. Sorry, 8. So every section has 4 unique items it can do. If we want to make it mirrorable, they're not unique. It's shared. So see, if we do 4 more items here, like obviously pipes we need. Actually, wait a minute. Hold on. A lot of these values... Ooh. Hold up. Most of these pipes, I think, will be on my inventory. I don't think they'll necessarily be on the train. Never mind. That only affects it by a small amount. I was hoping it would shave off like 40 undergrounds or something, but it's fine. Yeah, we'll use personal bots for all the roboports and junks. We might be using them for substations. I'm not sure. But yeah, radars, I figured we'll use our robots for substations and big electrics. I don't want to have to use both, but I might have to bring both. Hello, Bab. Welcome, welcome. Because the thing is, most of our roboports are within range of this network, which means I want them set up. That's a lot of substations compared to the electric base. Yeah, it is, but it's not expensive, so it doesn't really matter. I'm assuming they also just benefit from using actual inserters, or because they have to power more things. They might as well just use regular power poles. But yeah, the substation cost at this point in the run is super trivial. Like, we're talking 75 substations every 10 minutes. It is like the easiest thing we can afford to run right now, so I'm not too comparative about it. Too worried about it. Do I know the color values from memory? Actually, that wasn't super acid enough. There we go. I just changed the color a lot, so I have a general idea of what they should look like. I think this is close to acid. Yeah, I think that's pretty similar. I was pretty close. Just a little, I just needed a little bit more red. But yeah, I guess nothing is expensive compared to the 2 million, the millions of iron we're spending on the burner inserters themselves. And the red belt. But yeah, pipe I definitely want to bring extra of. Actually, regular pipe we don't really need extra of. But I would like to not have... I would like to be able to ghost those if I can. And then pipe to grounds, same thing. Okay, so that brings us to 2 free entities here. We'll need to mark that off on our list. Oh, I think I actually, yep, I slightly shifted the screen. There we go. Okay, and then we also did chem plants too, right? Yeah, we did chem plants. Okay, so these are actually brought with me. Undergrounds, refineries, power poles. I think I'm going to put power poles on here. Just like 1 stack in here, because we definitely have enough spare free stuff. I would like roboports, power poles, and maybe pump jacks in the middle just in case I don't bring them. Because if we bring like 10 of them as a... if I have about 10 of them just extra, that's not going to cost that much, but it might save a lot of second trips. Would Shoot to Scoot be a good, good mod name? That is a fun name. I do like that. Let's see, what is the idea of belting items to train? Half a belt in fuel and second in each item. Yes, that is the idea. Because we do lose on filling speed because we're not going chest to train. But we're not losing half the filling speed, so our theoretical item movement is way, way higher, and also gives us more variety we can put on the inserters. The one thing that we have to be wary of is we're actually going to have each of these are going to have coal on the belt, but they're going to fill the train with solid fuel. Which I'm realizing now, we can do one more item in each of these if we want. Because the one that has solid fuel can also have another item. We just can't have 2 inserters filling the train with solid fuel like we do with our outposts. Because with the outposts, it's not a huge deal because we don't need an exact amount of resources. If one of them idles for like 30 seconds, the world doesn't end. If one of the inserters backs up with solid fuel because the train backed up with solid fuel, we just don't get that item at all, right? So we're basically going to have coal on all of these belts, and then this one will have solid fuel and possibly something else. But yeah, I forgot that the solid fuel one can also move something. So it doesn't necessarily have to be a new item. I'm just going to put this down here as a reminder that we do have an extra entity we can use. Oh wait, this one doesn't have the right fuel, although it doesn't really matter. Okay, so I don't know if we added, let's see, 1, 3, 5, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, so we did actually count. I'm still counting this as 1, despite realizing it's not necessary. And then steel chests can go here as well. That puts us at 11, and then we have 1 more. Let's do splitters. Now, we're not necessarily going to fill all of these perfectly each time. All of the inserters will be controlled by a circuit that stops them. Because there's a lot of things like splitters, we don't need to bring 100 splitters, right? We only need to bring 40-ish, 40 or so. So it would be a bit silly for me to bring 100. But to make this symmetrical, I kind of need it to work that way. Although I could put the splitter... Actually, no, let's just put the splitter in the middle one. That would work fine. And then I also have a kind of silly idea, but I actually want to put a bunch of filler junk in this, like belts. Just to make the, the construction bots empty faster, but we'll have to figure that out later. So yeah, let's not do splitters. Let's do undergrounds. I think undergrounds would be good here. And then I know we need at least about 300. So let's do 400. Because 300 I think is the average. 400 is a little bit below that. Or a little bit above that. And if they don't fill, it's not the end of the world. So for the conditions we'll have on the train, we'll have the train auto depart. I imagine we're going to have the train auto depart whenever it has 300 fast undergrounds, and then up to 400 can go in it or something. So you added another showcase video in the Discord. Let's see, which one is this? The train ended as 272. Yeah, that's the plan. It seems perfectly fine as 272. We could make it 373, but I think 7 wagons is going to be enough. Oh geez, that did not load for me. Oh, because it opened in Windows Media Player. Okay, so which one is this? With negative walking speed and even... Oh, wait. Wait, this is negative walking speed, so you start walking backwards? So does that mean... Is that propelling you farther backwards when you fire? So, okay, so it propels you in the same direction you're going. Gotcha. That's... that'll be a headache. Honestly, I've just considered just doing a run where I swap WASD, because that would just be a headache for like most of the run. Okay, yeah, I think we filled the train well enough. Okay, and then I actually want to put as little as I can in this middle one. I'll probably put some undergrounds in here because I don't think we've accounted for undergrounds. And then we have a couple options. We have a couple options for how to do this. We can either go directly into a roboport, or we can go into a chest and then into a roboport when we unload. So that would go... So we could go like this, and then on the other half, we unload into a storage chest, right? Advantage of this is higher unload speed. Disadvantage, it can soft lock. So another option is this, which won't be able to soft lock, but the max loading speed is 4. Or I do 2 roboports. So you should reverse reverse turbo boost. That's a separate sentence. Should higher tier weapons give bigger boost AI nuking your base to go light speed? I think so. And it gives you a reason to get a auto shotgun later. If you rush combat shotgun, you can go way faster. Of course, you're destroying so much more of your base. But I think it's a silly idea. Hold on, I have to check my schedule real quick. Someone's wanting to know about dinner plans, and I don't know if I have a tabletop meeting today. Hiatus for the next 3 weeks at least. That was sent last week. Okay, cool. Okay, I'm good. So you make a point, no repair packs? I mean, I'm gonna be honest, I probably wouldn't repair anyway. So yeah, I might as well do no repair packs. They'll make biters annoying. Although, I don't know, biters don't necessarily need to be on this one. But yeah, we have options, I think, for how to empty the train. 4 inserters can do in 2 minutes. Actually, you know what? We've been using 2 minutes as an estimate and then going off of 2.5. Let's go off 2.5. That makes so much more sense. Okay, so that is 180 seconds times 1.6 since it's a chest times 4. So we can theoretically unload about 1,200 entities roughly from the middle train. So I think we'll be fine. So if we put refineries on here, that will be like 7 stacks. 1, 2, 3. You know, I could remove 1 refinery from my outpost and make it 7 stack. Actually, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Big electric pole, radar. These are basically just excess things because we can do up to. Yeah, we can do 12 items in and 4 items out because this one unloading only cares about total inserters unloading the wagon. Input relies on number of inserters going in. So I can have 12 items going in, and that can be unloaded from 4 inserters, as long as the entity count is low. I don't know about speed modules. Those will probably be on us. Roboports as well. Actually, I'm going to put these in a different spot. Because all of these are things that theoretically I'm supposed to be bringing with me, but until we set up the reloading train, we don't need to worry too much about it. And then also like spare rails. Because I don't think these things are going to be that hard to load. Yeah, that seems good. Now there is one other thing I have to consider, and that is that we actually need 2 outposts, and one of the outposts requires 50% more steel chests. I don't know how I'm going to deal with that, because it's also going to be an entirely different blueprint. I don't think it will change the... It won't change the belt count a ton, but it will increase the belt count and the inserter count by a few stacks. But it looks like, based on this, we have enough space. Yeah, main train as a supply train. No, it's more it's more so that these are the things I need to place while I'm at the outpost to get the outpost started. So I want to make sure I at least have enough resources in this chest to fill out the rest of the outpost without waiting for another resupply train. Because this is the stuff that I only technically need 1 of for all of these to start the outpost, at least for roboports and big electric poles. After that, it's not a huge deal, but we'll see. Try to build it near base so bots from base could place additional chests. The issue isn't so much the chests as it is a full redesign of the outpost. So I'm not sure what the solution is to that. You know what? We have 3 hours. This sounds really dumb, but what if we just hand move the... What if we just spend like the last hour of the run moving green circuits into chests? It's not the dumbest idea I've had. And it's only going to affect the first 6 outposts. So that is 300 transfers of items. So it's not the greatest idea. It's going to be incredibly annoying, but I could do that. But yeah, I'll show you what I mean real quick, so I don't seem like I'm just making that up. Basically, we have our outpost is entity, built around entities, which means there's not space for additional chests. That's the gist of it. So right here, I could put an additional chest. Actually, that's a bad example. That one can fit. So I could put additional chests here and here. The only issue is we need to add a couple entities. I could place this inserter over here, but that actually makes this one less safe. So I don't know if that's a good idea. Like right here, we can do 1 extra entity. Oh, wait, I can place them later. Maybe. Hold on. There might be a way to do this that doesn't require a full redesign. So like right here, this could be a separate blueprint that I paste towards the end of the run. After fuel is backed up. Then I don't have to care about it being unsafe. Okay. Okay, that I think works in every scenario. Oh, it doesn't work here. Doesn't work here. If I really wanted to, I could make it work. Like, we can take from this. Because at that point of the run, I don't really care about entity count, right? So we could do some really weird designs to, like, reroute fuel. It's not the end of the world. Let's see. Are you here, Tice? You said you were going to look into cleaning up the outpost, right? Is there any... Is there anything you would be cleaning up that would make it that I couldn't convert this outpost? Like, should I just make a separate outpost with what I have? And then we can clean up the last 12 instead of trying to have to make all of them worse? Because that is an option. It's not that hard. Like, if I just go with this one as Mark 1 for the first 6 and then have a slightly different outpost for the remaining, like, 12, that's not the worst thing in the world. Hold on, I have to do math real quick. So you could just make an underground between the two? For which two? Ooh! Okay, I see what you mean. You're not sure you follow. Okay, so basically, this outpost can only run for 4 hours before the chests fill up. So we need to make the first few of them run for 6 hours, because that's about how long they'll have to run. At the estimate I have for... With the rough estimate I have for how long it will take. Because I'm imagining once every outpost goes up, I'll have about 3 hours. Because I'm aiming for about 5 million green chips per hour. That's 4 hours once they're all up. Things will have been running before then, so it's probably going to be about 5 hours of outposting. So the first 6 or so needs an extra chest in each outpost. Yeah, every assembler needs another chest, but not every assembler, because these inserters that go into chests are actually really bad for performance. Like quite bad for performance. So I obviously don't want to have extra chests in the outposts that don't need it. It's just the first ones do. Let's see, bots won't need... Oh yeah, I guess they would need to remove them. That would be like 40 bot actions. Yeah, that would actually be bad. Why would they need to remove them? Because it counts as... I think it counts as like deconstructing. Maybe not. It could just... There's a chance it could just pause it. Well, we'll test that. We'll test that real quick. Can I ghost things in this mode? Yes. Okay. It's easy enough to test. Except for the fact that I'm not in. Okay. Yeah, like I said, it might not work that way, but it is something we need to keep in mind. Okay, so all we have to do, Robofort, it's powered. Give them some bots. Give them some undergrounds and see what happens. I'm in editor mode. Oh my gosh, how do I place things in editor mode? Oh, right. You can't ghost copied stuff. Okay, we're fine. Yeah, there's also the settings. I just didn't want to have to enable that one because I like having it off. Okay, we're good. Yeah, I always forget to re-disable it afterwards, but honestly, that would have been faster than trying to figure that out, failing 3 times. Okay, so that is an option. So we could keep this as our main outpost and just do the undergrounds in between, and that should work for all of them. Let's make a rough estimate. Every yellow assembler will need 2, let's see. What would I do without you? I would have done this. I would have needed like 8 more belts. Which would have been awful. Okay, so every inserter needs 1 more chest, 2 more inserters, 1 more belt, or 2 more undergrounds. I believe we can get everything working with 1 of those. So let's do half and half. That seems reasonable. So what was that? 2 inserters. So that's oh God, there's so many inserters in this outpost. So that's 144 more inserters. That is 72 more underbelts, 36 more regular belts. So that's not even a stack. The undergrounds will be fine. We'll just make sure we bring 100 extra. And then 72 more steel chests. I mean, theoretically, if I really wanted to like micro it, I could not bring extra in chests. Well, I would need extra chests, but I don't necessarily need extra inserters, but that would be so hard to work around. That's all right. Extra inserters, extra belt, extra underbelt. Okay, so for 324 additional entities, or somewhere around that, we can convert the original outpost through a separate blueprint that we paste on it later once we see its stalls. So we have a couple options now. We can send all those resources to each section, or we could just walk through and bring them all at the end if they're missing any. Because for the most part, they'll probably have the extra inserters. They'll probably have the extra undergrounds and belts. They just won't necessarily have the extra chests. And there's also the option we can connect them through RoboNetwork to our main base. That could work. Don't know if that would be bad for performance. Probably not, because it's like 100 bots that would be dispatched. Or like 1,000 bots total would be dispatched once, and then they would be done. And that would be like the last thing I build. So yeah, that gives me 6 hours, up to 6 hours of runtime from each outpost. Okay, I think we're fine. And honestly, we might just be able to send the chest to every single outpost. How do I... Let's see, Combinator... I'm trying to think of how we can keep track of what we need to bring. Or what the extra stuff is. So I said 144 inserters, 36 belt, 72 underbelt, 72 chests. There you go. This will make it that I know what I need to bring for once I get... Actually, what if I mark... Is there a time unit? Oh, I have an idea. I have an idea. I could label as blueprint, or we could do this: 6 hours. No, I want it to have an S. There we go. Hello, if you can, this is an English-speaking chat, just because I'm not able to moderate other languages. Welcome. 6 hours. Okay, that seems good. Well, yeah, I figured it was Russian. I just can't read it. Okay, this is good. Okay, I am actually very happy with this. We have a lot more room in the... I like how I'm saying a lot, like we have wiggle room, but we really don't. Burner inserters are garbage. Anyway, oh, we could put the extra stuff in here. The middle train. If the numbers here don't match up. Okay, so routing this stuff, it's gotta be rough. It's gonna look something like this. I don't know. We're gonna have a heck of a time. We're definitely gonna have a heck of a time filling them. I actually am probably gonna have to like branch out like that, which is totally fine. I just don't think it's likely that we're gonna get them loading from the side. And then one issue with this design is that we don't have a buffer chest. So we'll need buffer chests for most of the resources. The ones in really low quantities, we don't. Refineries wouldn't need a buffer chest. Modules probably wouldn't need a... No, modules would need a buffer chest. Chests... Yeah, I think we can just assume everything except for fuel is going to need a buffer chest, which is totally fine. The exceptions are roboports. Obviously, they back up enough on the belts. Power poles, substations, probably fine. Although those should be in a buffer chest anyway. Yeah, most things are buffered on belts. The main things I'm concerned about are the things that have throughput issues, like inserters, undergrounds, conveyors, stuff like that. Those have inserter throughput issues, so we're actually going to need to make a buffer chest that can output like a whole belt at a time and somehow be evenly split between different lanes. Yeah, this is gonna be a giant buffer system to try to keep things balanced. That's gonna be fun. Let's do that not today. Let's look at the outpost design. Oh man, good luck with the bugs, happiness, health, and something to my house. Thanks for the good wishes. Definitely appreciate it. Right now there aren't actually any bugs. We have biters. Biters turned off. So we're just looking at Factoria bugs though, not the biter kind. Although we haven't run into a ton today with the mod. We're figuring out how to work around them. But yeah, I need to look at this outpost. Okay, so we made it symmetrical, so it can go from either direction. Yeah, that's true. Bugs in design. That's what we have a lot of. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1. Wait, hold up. Is it perfectly symmetrical? Or do I need to stagger the chests? How does that work? It's like, are these perfectly mirrored from each other, or will the train move by one tile with each one? I can't really tell. I think that's right? So like, if a train stops here or a train stops here, either way, it's going to look the exact same. I think that sounds right to me. Yeah, that seems reasonable. Okay, I just had it in a weird spot that made it look staggered. And then now we need to do an entity count over here. So we're doing 400, 400, 400. That's 1,200 plus another 100, 1,300, 1,500 ish, 1,700, 1,800, 1,850. Let's say 2,000 entities. 2,000 divided by 120. I need 10 inserters to unload this. Do I have enough construction chests? I don't know if I have enough construction chests for this. Oh wait, sorry. I'm doing it in 1.5. What's 1.5 minutes? I mean, that's still... Maybe I should aim for 3? Okay, we have a couple options right now. We could have 2 trains Because currently, do we know how long it will take for a train to go from point A to point B? That's the first thing I need to answer. Because I don't really know how fast trains go. And obviously that answer depends on where point A and point B are. So I'm not expecting like anyone to have an answer there. We just need to get an estimate. Okay, so realistically, how far do I think I'll have to go for the outposts? Well, what's a reasonable distance? 37? Is that how far I need to go, or is that how long it will take? Why is there no path? Yes, okay, cool. I'm very confused. Can it not go along that because it's too curved? That's not a thing, right? I hope it's not a thing. Oh, it might be breaking. Oh, wait. No? No, that's not why it's breaking. I don't know why it's breaking. But yeah, it's probably not a concern. Because that just moved that distance in like 20 seconds. And most of that time was acceleration. See, two trains will need place to move around each other, probably next to base, as outposts will be mostly on single track system. Yeah, that's the part I'm worried about if we have to do two trains. So you're an ordinary Belarusian man, you really love this game, and you're glad you're playing it. There may be errors translated via Google Translate. Yeah, that's fine. I appreciate it. But yeah, it's a really good game. I'm super stoked for the expansion. Although I I'm so focused on this burner run that I haven't even had a chance to like think about what we're gonna do once the expansion comes out in terms of schedule. I imagine we'll play it. See, broken belts are like bugs for programmers. Yeah, we're gonna have way more than broken belts. But yeah, I think I am very much underestimating how fast trains move. Because in my mind, I'm thinking it's going to take like 5 minutes for a train to reach an outpost. I don't think that's reasonable. And if it is a problem, we do have this option, right? Does this help with acceleration? I think this would help with acceleration. We can't do nuclear fuel, but this one's an option. And that should help a decent amount. Feels like you spend more time designing fast factories than just having the factories run. Well, that's because I'm having... This is a very specific challenge. I don't normally play that way. But you tend to hop in only when I'm doing the burner design challenges. Which that's kind of the whole point of this run. We're trying to make a base specifically to be fast. So I can do it in one day. Like, obviously, we could have done burner hundo like 20 times, maybe not 20 times by now, 8 times by now if we didn't have a design base ahead of time, but I wouldn't have done any of those in one stream. Whereas if we can get the base done, it can be a single stream. Will this be done before the expansion? The goal is for it to be done September 1st. However, I might have to miss a lot of streams this week due to having to watch my nephew and stuff. Is So we might have to delay that by like a week or two. We were on track to be done by September, but I had to miss Monday and Tuesday. I might have to miss next Tuesday as well. So that delays us about a week. Spending 100 steams to spend one stream on a run instead of two streams. Well, the thing is, if I do two streams on the run, it's not a valid run. So those 100 streams are worth it. Also, they're like some of my best performing streams in VODs, which is really funny. People seem to like them. But yeah. I mean, I'm just watching my nephew. It's not like I'm revealing a ton of information. But yeah, this is for a 100% speed run, and I want it to be within the official rules, which means it has to be done in one sitting or one recording. The only way I could do it in two streams is if I just idled and recorded doing nothing for like 12 hours and continued the next day. Oh, unforeseen consequences. I guess if you're not pro watching children. But yeah, because of that, we'll probably be delayed about like a week. But we'll see. We don't really have a ton left to do in the base, so we might be able to make it. It depends how practice is going. You know, imagine being expected 3 to 5 business days because people know I have a nephew. Yeah, the only Factorious room with a nephew. It'll be so easy to find me from that. Just teach him Factorio one day. One day, that would be nice. But yeah, it's been fun. I think we could definitely do a 3-3 if I'm worried about the speed. Oh, that's true. It's not just has a nephew, has to watch them at some point. Yeah, this should work. So we're doing a basic speedrun except for the challenge, and we're making designs to be able to do it in a reasonable amount of time. Yeah, we're basically designing like a full-on 100% speedrun base. It's just done with burner inserters. So it's done with very similar considerations to an actual 100% speedrun. I am curious how large this base is. Because right now, like, obviously this trip only takes about 30 seconds. Or less. So let's put this here. Size, test. Oh, I haven't updated that. Edit command, YouTube. Check out my past BBs and check out edited. Check out meme runs with post commentary. Check out edited runs and PBs. There we go. Yeah, I have the main YouTube channel, and then I also have my VODs channel, which just gets the full unedited stream submitted to them. You had that Factorio Thermal Baus recommended to me. That was your video. Yeah, we did the run like a year and a half ago. Then I just uploaded the video in like December or something. Because I wasn't sure how to edit. So it took me a while. I'm working on a burner hundo video as well right now, obviously. So this run will actually have 2 videos associated with it, basically. This is very loud. It will have a post-commentary version of the original run, since that one I think will be much more interesting. But then obviously we've spent 160 hours or so on this. This will at least get a highlight stream in a few months. And it will be uploaded fully to the VODs channel. But the edit, it's going to get like a post-commentary version of the original blueprintless run, just because I think that will work better in that kind of instance. I spent too much time on this to not at least use the content. Exactly. But also I think it's interesting that the actual like result of why the hard work I think is interesting enough to at least get some highlights of the run. But yeah, what were we doing? We were trying to find something. Hmm. Do we have like a test world? Is this the test world? We might just have to generate a new one. Highlights and lowlights. Yeah, there will be lots of lowlights. This is the worst part of the run. I hated this. This made me tear my hair out. Okay, is this? Nope, this is not the right one. Okay, we'll just restart this one. Restart, I think, generates with the same settings. But yeah, I'm excited to make both the videos. The script for this one is pretty much done. Well, this one, as in the original burner one, is pretty much done. But I've had a sinus, and my sinuses have been awful this week, so I haven't actually been able to record any commentary because I can't speak very clearly sometimes. It makes it really hard to record takes of full sentences anytime I sit down to record. But they're clearing up, so I should have that video up late August or at the very least early September. It'll go online before this video or before this run. Yeah, delete everything. Wait, what does that solve? I don't know what problem this solves. Hey, where did I put it? Full base test. Okay. Oh my god. I forgot what our base looked like. See, these streams are very easy to watch though because they are mostly podcasts in which you complain with other people about how funky Factorio is when limiting yourself to not using the non-funky stuff. Yeah. No, that's a good way to describe it. It's like, I can't believe Factorio doesn't have the keyboard functionality. Like, you'd really think a game made for mouse and keyboard would have that, but no, they just didn't program any of the keys. Yeah, so I don't know. Sometimes I might be able to gaslight people into believing that's real. Though I don't think that should be my end goal, but it's always an option. Okay, so this would go roughly. This would go here in this build. Not like it matters that much. So this gives me a rough idea of how far things will be from each other, right? I have no idea what this is up here. Oh, this is an old base. It's fine. Not a huge deal. So I need to make I need to see how far we can go with like 2 minutes of travel time, basically. Sorry. 2 minutes of travel time. Are we in were we in the wrong view? Yes, we were. Okay. Obviously there's more to it than just like a straight line, but I think this will give me a rough like some kind of like napkin math estimate, I think. Tests. There we go. Anytime I name something test, it's very temporary. Okay, you know what? I think if I can't find 16 outposts within here, we're probably good, right? That seems like a reasonable estimate to me. If I have to go this far to finish the run, I think we've succeeded. 1, 2, 3, and then 1, 2, 3. Perfect. Okay, and then we'll be using rocket fuel, which is kind of annoying to get. It's not the worst thing in the world. It's just we haven't drug it? That's not a word. Dragged it through the base yet. Okay. So we just want this to be able to make it to our base in like 2 minutes. And then we also need break speed, which we have. Perfect. Okay, moment of truth. How fast does this go? Oh, trains are fast. Okay, so we can go 4 times this distance and still have enough time to load and unload an outpost. I think we'll be okay. We'll just have to make sure if we go here, we don't like branch off, go up, and then back down. Every time you name something test, it's very temporary. You sitting there with save files, characters, RPGs, even passwords and work files named test. Yeah, I say it's temporary, but we all know what temporary means. There are a lot of important test files I have in like my downloads folder. So you can make the rocket fuel on site. Yeah, that's true. We can make the rocket fuel on site. It might be easier to get light oil here than it is to get other oil. But yeah, I don't know what I was thinking. I guess I was thinking I've never really used trains before. Surely they're slow. I guess. Okay. Test number 2. Let's make it go backwards. Because if I can make do with a 2-2, I want to. You know what? The distance, the time is not that much different. I guess because with that long of a distance, most of your time isn't spent accelerating. You remember you're clearing your PC of trash and deleting a very important test file. Classic. I am always terrified to delete anything in my recycling bin. Although it auto-deletes, I think, anyway, so I don't check it enough to ever recover anything. Alternatively, why not use the solid fuel recipe? What do you mean, use the solid fuel recipe? Like, why not use solid fuel in the train, or why not make solid fuel on site? Hello, Sky. Welcome, welcome. And yeah, permanently temporary 9 hours save game. I think that's because it was a game that was 9 hours, and then I saved it as test. But there is a chance I just played a file called test for 9 hours. Oh, you meant use solid fuel instead of rocket fuel. Because I think the acceleration matters. The faster I can make the train go, the more time I can spend unloading the train, which reduces my chest count from, theoretically, 6 times 12 plus 4. So 76 construction chests. I don't really want to have 76 passive providers or construction chests. Does it matter which is which? Probably not. But yeah, ideally I don't want to have to bring that many chests. So if I can make my train a little bit faster, I can cut down on the unloading inserters and maybe reduce it to like 50. And it just gives me a little bit more wiggle room if I use rocket fuel, so it goes a bit faster. Are you planning on using bots to unload? No, I'm not using bots to unload, but bots are going to build the outpost, so they at least need to go into a pass provider chest, but I can only unload really slowly. There is the option... Actually, no, it's not really an option. And we can't do a series of chests to go from, like... We can't go onto a belt and then into a... We can't go onto the belt and then into a chest at the end, because that would... we don't have the fuel for that. Yeah, yellow to be safe of trees on the spot. I figured I would do like half and half. I don't know... I don't know if performance-wise it will matter. Like, the existence of storage chests isn't just going to make the game run terribly, right? Like, just having 5,000... Actually, how many would it be? 72 times 18? Having just 1,300 construction chests, or yellow chests, just around, I'm hoping doesn't tank performance. As long as they're not being used, I can't imagine it's going to be a problem. But that is my concern. Was my concern. But I'm probably being paranoid. My burner inserters are so much worse. But yeah, I'm not planning to use bots to unload, but the way the outpost works, it needs to unload and unload in a unload, load plus travel time needs to be 10 minutes. Is your plan to reuse the builder chest to load the train? Okay. Yeah, I'll just summarize it real quick. That'll be easiest. So we load the train like this, going directly from belt to train. We put a little bit of fuel in the train, so that way the inserters can fuel themselves as they unload. You know, very very important. These are going from directly belt to inserter, belt to chest, so we can get more inserters. And then at the outpost, we don't bring most of the resources we need to build, right? We're just bringing like roboports and stuff. But to get the unloading speed I need, I still need at least 4 to 6 inserters on each side to be able to load things fast enough. To unload things fast enough. And because they all need to be able to go to robots to build the outpost, they all need to be some kind of path revider or yellow storage chest. So ideally, I would want to decrease the amount of chests I use because they are kind of expensive. Chest to chest is probably for performance. Chest is chest. Oh, chest is chest, probably for performance. That's okay. So yeah, it wouldn't really matter. Just the chest and just the existence of chests in general. Yeah, we can go with that. But yeah, if we do like half and half, I think that would be good. Actually, it probably doesn't matter. Yeah, I doubt it matters at all. But yeah, this is the plan. Otherwise, we would have to unload onto like a belt, and then unload into a chest, which would unload the train fast. But or sorry, that one wouldn't work. But otherwise, we'd have to go into like an iron chest and then output onto a belt, which requires a lot of fuel to work. It would be very risky too, and it doubles the amount of chests. Well, not doubles, but it increases the amount of chests, chest overhead. Sorry, not double. It doubles the amount of inserters on chests, which are probably the worst thing I've found for performance. But yeah, that's the general idea. And I want to reduce the amount of chests I need here. And the easiest way to do that is to increase filling speed or increase train travel speed, so that way I can spend more time unloading the wagon. So right now, these can move we have 10,000 items we have to unload over 2 minutes, which means I need 52 inserters if I want to do it in 2 minutes. So I think I can decrease this to at least 6. If I could do it single-sided, that would be nice. I think that's the best timeline. Just because that's very easy to manage and allows me to compact the base. If I have to do both sides, I think I have to make the base a little bit wider than I would like. But I think this would work. So this is 36, and then this right here goes into a roboport. Which looks a little bit weird. But I think this is the best option for, not performance, but for balancing the middle train. So yeah, this is probably what I'm leaning towards. The other option with the roboport is to do this. But this requires me to make sure that I have as many entities that these ones are unloading as these ones are, which is kind of wonky. Oh, right. That reminds me. We still need to go check out their train. How do we do that? How can I tell what's on their building train? I think we have something here that just says normal 100% design. The real question is, does it have the building train yet? We also have normal 100 design T. If anyone's ran it, Arters, do you know roughly how many bots they send to each outpost? Won't it break if they try to pick up bots to Roboport before fuel gets into the chest? Yes, we can fix that by ordering fuel into a specific order, though. It's like, yes, it would break, but if we put fuel in a specific spot on the train, we can guarantee it will work. So we would have bots in the first slot, Roboports in the second slot, or sorry, bots in the first slot, fuel in the second, and then everything else in the last slot. That'll make it that enough fuel is remaining inside the inserters themselves to unload the remaining Roboport, to unload the remaining robots, and then there will be enough fuel already unloaded for the burners to fuel themselves. So we can make it work. If you remember, oh, okay, that's fine. We're producing that many. That just might affect how many roboports I need to load into. If you remember, 450 to 600 depends on how many is created. Okay, so they just send as many as they have, basically. Oh yeah, we can do that. I think theoretically we can produce 1 per second. I don't even know where their station is. I opened this like I would have any idea what I'm looking for. It's not that one. That's the original building train. This is the new building train. This might work. Gosh, the amount of resources I need. Yeah, this isn't helpful. I need the actual train. 450 is minimum set on train. Okay. So that part wasn't it. Okay. Thank you. I would have been looking for ages. So 450 is minimum, up to 600 if that many are produced. Cool. See, the only thing you know about the normal 100 outpost is that they have some logic to ship the bots back on the early train. Isn't that for... That's for the... That's not for the circuit outpost, though, right? You mean the early trains as in, like, the iron and the uranium trains? We could do something like that. We don't really need to worry about it. But we can set that up if we really want. Okay, so that means we need... Okay, that's for mining stuff. Okay, yeah. I thought about that. I think we're okay without it because our run is so much slower. We're not going to be limited by bots. Bot building speed, I don't think. So I'm assuming we'll be okay. Of course, that's a pretty big assumption. But yeah, I feel like we'll be okay. There we go. That's a better way to put it. Okay, one... Okay, so... Who was it that was asking about bots backing up? Oh, right. Arthur, it was you. So if we do this, construction bots first, that means these will be the last things unloaded from the train. And then if we do solid fuel here, let's do 3 stacks of solid fuel. This would make it that all of this stuff gets unloaded, then the solid fuel gets unloaded, and then the bots get unloaded. And if we have 4 inserters, they'll do an internal buffer of at least 2 fuel. So that is 360 items divided by 4. We'll have roughly 300 remaining actions for each of them. So we'll have about 1,200. So we can unload up to 100. We can unload roughly 1,200 bots this way. You'd keep 1 solid fuel in the left slot to be safe. Yeah, I guess that wouldn't break anything. That's a good idea. Thank you. Especially since solid fuel is dirt cheap, we can bring extra of it. I'm totally fine with that. Okay. So yeah, that will make it that they're nice and safe. Cool. There is one, and then obviously we'll have to fill every other tile will be filled with junk, so we don't put, so we don't accidentally fill these with coal. I guess it's not the end of the world if we accidentally ship coal, but I would rather not. Because it would be coal or like random things like extra inserters, which I would rather not send if we can avoid it. Okay. So yeah, the way this is set up, we need at least 10 minutes of buffer for every single resource. That is gonna be... That's tough. We need an entire outpost of buffer chests for each resource, basically. Mark them with fish or decon planners. Yeah, I'll probably do fish. I'm just not doing them yet because I'm not sure about the final values at the moment. But yeah, we'll definitely mark them with fish. Decon planners, I don't know, they never work for me. Green circuit train. Like, I don't see a decon planner and think, oh, that's taboo. Building outpost builder 2. Okay, so that's one of the outpost builders. We'll work on the actual outpost later. And then we came up with an idea for how to convert a 4-hour design to a 6-hour design. I'm actually really happy with that. Basically, if anyone missed it, just a brief summary. The outposting phase is probably going to take about 5 hours. These outposts only run for 4. Roughly 4 hours. Because they produce 0.625 times 2. Right? How fast are these? One divided by 3. 3.2? I feel like that number is not right. 1.6. Yeah, 0.625. Okay, that's right. Times 1.24. So these produce about 1.55 green chips per second because they are perfectly evenly limited by all of the inserters. So they're iron limited. They produce 1.55 items per second. Each chest stores 9,600 divided by 1.55. Each chest lasts a little under 2 hours, actually. So they run for about 3.5, and we can make them run for a little bit more. You fill them with fill it with regular inserters. Just a joke from everyone. That's actually pretty fun. I like that idea. That's silly. That's the type of thing I do. But yeah. Anyway, so these only run for 3.5 hours. I want some of them to be able to run for 5. And there is an easy way to convert the blueprint that someone pointed out. So for a lot of them, we can just do this as a blueprint and then extend that one tile. So we'll have a second layer that we can paste over this original one. And then when we paste it, everything's nice and it just adds one inserter. So that works great for that one. But then there's other sections that aren't lined up that nicely with fuel, like here. So for this case, we can paste an underground there and add more nicely there. So the idea is to get like 6 outposts done, paste them to upgrade them, and then we should be good, and they can run for 5 hours. And then if we haven't gotten the achievement by 5 hours, I think it's fine if we start to lose like a little bit of our production after that point. But I definitely want to keep them running as long as possible. Because obviously having one more chest is better for performance than making 6 more outposts. So you need to check with a rate calculator, but you might be able to cut half the coil assemblers. This outpost is perfect ratios. There is no way I can get more coils outside of one of the assembling machines with burner inserters without outputting onto a belt in between. The efficiency modules reduce the size of my outpost by a very large margin, and they're not that expensive. Or they reduce the size of my power plant by a very large margin. It's not necessary. It might not be necessary, but it is something I want to plan for. But yeah, this ratio is perfect. This runs at half speed, this runs at full speed. We can't do direct feeding because that would need 3 inserters to output full speed from one of them, and then we would also need to get 3 furnaces going into one coil assembler. But because we can't get 3 inserters directly into it without an intermediate, we have 2 assemblers instead. Because the direct feeding at the cost of one extra assembler is much nicer than having anything outputting on the ground or onto a belt. If we can even make that work. It would have to like output over here and then input over here, which would not be ideal. But yeah, burner inserters are terrible. Conceptually, yeah, 1-to-1 ratio would be perfect. I'm pretty sure that's what they do. Or like a 3-to-2 ratio would be perfect. But we can't do that because burner inserters. Yeah, efficiency modules, not strictly necessary. But on the other hand, they also reduce the size of my power by like 30%, which is 8 pipes of water, which might matter. 2 mods in 1 day, shoot to scoot, nice. I like how you have an actual balance mod and then you have shoot to scoot, which is, I guess, maybe a balance mod in some way. But yeah, that's a decent summary, I think, of what we've got so far and why burner inserters are terrible. The max we can move is 3.2 items per second from an assembly machine. Well, technically 1.8, but either way, that's bad. Oh wait, I just realized I've been using 2 different values today and not realizing it. 1.6 is the belt speed, 1.8 is the chest-to-chest speed. So that means my trains will unload 20%, not 20%, about 10 to 15% faster than I've been estimating. You haven't focused on the stream. I hope you have made good progress. I figured out how fast I need to unload the outpost and have the entity count divided fairly evenly. So I think I'd say we've made decent progress. Each train wagon unloads and empties in about 2.5 minutes, or should unload and empty in about 2.5 minutes. And we figured out how long the train needs to be and all that good stuff. I can't believe we're not shipping any fuel. I really thought that would be a useful strategy. But then I redid the starter time calculations, or not calculations. They weren't calculations. They were experiments. We did an empirical test. But yeah, we redid the start time calculations and experiments, and oh boy, sending an entire train of 2 entire 8-long trains worth of fuel only saves 10 minutes on the start time. I don't want to send 2 trains of fuel to every single outpost to save a total of 10 minutes on the run. Maybe one day if we make it a competitive category. But right now it's not super high prio. Okay, where's roughly the middle? Here, I think. There's a spot we could place it that fit evenly between the gaps. I don't think this was it, but we can shift it pretty easily. Definitely was not here. That's okay, we can just do this. I guess we can just move the power pole. Wait, how do I... Oh, shift copy. That's what it is. Okay. So yeah, there is a spot where this can line up perfectly. And that is it. Okay, I didn't realize these are exactly one train apart from each other. That's really cool. I don't think that's helpful, but it's cool. And then I can actually shift it over one more, and that works better. Why can't I undo that? There we go. Oh, well, never mind. I said it worked better, but it actually doesn't because of snapping. You can only place a train every 2 tiles, and I needed to shift it over 1. But that's okay. Not a big deal. Because this is just... Honestly, that does nothing. It's literally just a filler. Don't know why I cared about it. Okay, so we are deciding we can probably make do with 8. Let's see. We said 10,000 entities divided by 6 wagons. So that's 1,600 items divided by 150 divided by 1.8. Okay, yeah, that's 6 inserters per wagon to unload in 1.5 minutes on average. I think some outposts will actually need more than that. Wait a minute. Is this 7? Okay. And then, did I have anything that was barely in range there? Okay. But that looks pretty good. That's the general plan for unloading. We need to bring 40 for every outpost. I think we can produce that. We might actually have to improve our construction production, though. I mean, that's only one every 10 minutes. Wait, sorry. 40 every 10 minutes is 4 a minute, one every 15 seconds. If we can't produce one of those every 15 seconds, I think we have bigger problems. Because, like, what's a substation cost? A substation costs 5 circuits. This costs 1. So if we can provide 75 substations in 10 minutes, we can definitely supply 1/8 of the cost in terms of storage chests. Yeah, we don't have anything to be concerned about. Okay, but yeah, I'm super happy with this. We'll need to make a blueprint that goes over this. That won't be that hard. Certainly this base won't have any problems. Exactly. I mean, I don't think I ever claimed it wouldn't. But I just meant this one, that's not one of them, I think, anymore. I think we fixed this one. But yeah, there's definitely going to be problems. I might add 2 more chests to each one. I don't think that's a terrible idea. Because this is pretty close to not having... This is pushing it. Like, it's fine, but it's definitely pushing it. So if we do like 2 more, we get more wiggle room of like an entire minute probably instead of 30 seconds. I guess that's not a huge difference. Okay, and then we need to do water. Also, I can probably delete the check marks. Nah, I like that. Actually, they're kind of fun. They make me, when I look to the left, I see progress. Okay, also I think it's time we saved a new version number. I'm great at versioning things. These are very logical naming schemes. I mean, I guess they're better than my test version 2x_5 or whatever. Did I break the game? I feel like I broke the game. But yeah, I can't wait to do. I can't wait to realize a lot of the base is broken and have to fix it with a controller. But no, realistically, I'll be switching to a controller pretty early, so that way I have like a 2-hour break where I'm using a controller, so that way I can fix problems with a keyboard later. So you think you might like my GC a little better, but for a T3 GC assembler with 4 prod 1s, 1 tier 3 wire assembler with 1 seed supplies enough wire, get into the GC with burner alone sucks though. Yeah, there's a reason we have it designed this way. We did look into a 1-to-1 earlier, but practically speaking, the inserter count is the inserters are the worst hit to performance in the base. So sacrificing, like, the assemblers aren't too bad. So having to do something like this is a lot worse. I don't think you save enough for it to be worth it. I think it's a really cool design. I do think the design itself is really cool. But yeah, you could do something like this, I think would work. Right. And then another issue with this design, you actually have to have 2 outputs. I believe you actually need 2 outputs if you do it this way. Right? Oh wait, no, it has the same production speed per one. Yeah, never mind. That's a different thing. This is nice and compact. I do like the design. But this part right here was an overhead I didn't want. What's the prod mods for? Oh, 1 speed. So it looked like that. Oh gosh, wait, how much power would this cost? Oh, that's not too bad. Half a kilowatt. The one thing I do really like about this design is that it, is tessellates really well in a much less confusing way. And you can actually mirror it, which is cool. I wonder if there's a way this can be shifted over. That's an unsafe design. Getting fuel for some of the inserters would be a nightmare. In this design? I don't see any issues with it. In terms of the fueling part. In terms of fueling, I don't see any issues here. Because the only issue is this one, this one, this one, and this one, which are going to be on logic anyway. I guess the outputs would be annoying. Topmost furnace has a fueling issue? How so? Oh. Gotcha. Yes, it does. But that's not too bad. That's an easy fix. We could do something like that. But yeah, this part right here it makes it a lot not desirable, which is why I didn't end up doing that. If only if everything was a pentagon, I think it would work a lot nicer. I don't think that's viable. Well, I don't think we can add another side to Factorio, but that would fix things so much. If we could do one more set of outputs, of course that wouldn't really help on the inputs, so I don't think it would actually solve any problem. Move whole left side down with furnaces one down. Well, that doesn't fix the problem, because then it just adds the problem down here instead. I mean, it gives you another option, but you get the same stagger down below. Realistically, the easiest fix is to just not share this output belt. That's probably what the solution would be. This probably is better than having some kind of splitter. That should fix it, right? I shifted everything the wrong way, but conceptually. Conceptually, I think this works. There we go. Yeah. Now I think they're good. The real thing that would be super helpful, if I could get 2 chest outputs, that would actually be a very significant improvement. Because this is actually really bad. If I could do this, that would save a decent chunk of performance, surprisingly. But it's not. It's only a pipe dream. One can dream. But unfortunately, burner inserters. But yeah, having a chain of chests is a lot worse than having, 2 chests. Because it means every inserter moves twice as often instead of each inserter moving every so often. I'm going to keep this design because I think it's cool. Different GC outpost. Maybe we could do one of them just for fun. Our last outpost we can do slightly differently because it looks cool. Also, it doesn't have to go into as many chests. Because I feel like one outpost performing slightly worse won't hamper the run. This is the wrong version. Wait. I'm confused. We're just gonna add a number there. Where's the train? What did we do? Did I load the wrong version to save? Into version 1.585? I might have. I mean, it's fine. If we don't have it, we have all the values we have. So we're good. It wouldn't take long to rebuild. Most of the time was spent calculating how much needed to go into each train. So rebuilding it would be a matter of minutes. I could do after the stream. I mean, it's still in the blueprint, so I must have just deconned it. I wonder if I like shifted it and then accidentally saved it. I think I wanted to shift it and then forgot. But yeah, what left do we have to do? Okay, so we have to do water. Water's tricky. We need to steal water blueprint actually. We need to get the I think for that we can just use the regular 100% design. I don't think there's anything about it that we can't adapt to ours. Okay, we haven't really changed anything, right? Between this and version 1.85. Yeah, I'm pretty sure the only thing we actually did between these two is delete my important train and make a test build, which we now have here. Different GC outpost base. Okay. Now we need to figure out where power goes. So before we can do water, we need to put power somewhere, which, you know what, footprint-wise, takes up way less of my base than I expected. If I'm being honest, I thought it was like... I thought it was the size of my base. I guess I just really just assumed anything made with burners is gonna be stupidly large, but you know what? We're actually, we're good. That's a first. Okay, so I want to look at their nuclear power. Mostly just out of curiosity. I'm curious how large an actual base's nuclear plant is. Now, for the amount of power ours produces compared to theirs, ours is way worse. But I think our power is smaller. But we also produce a fifth of the power with the same amount of water, which is why water is a blueprint we'll just need to take. Where is the... Which one is nuclear power anyway? Is it this thing? Oh, okay. Wow. That is so much larger than I thought it was. Okay. Yeah, you know what? I don't think we're going to have any trouble. I don't think we're going to have any trouble fitting our power plant. Yeah, theirs is the size of like their entire base. So that's, you know what? 1 point for burners. We don't need much power. I mean, you could theoretically argue that these are effectively the same as a power plant because that's what they are. But that's not important. Yeah, it's also the old power plant. So I don't know what the new one looks like. They might have a better version now. Okay, so I'm thinking we just place this at the bottom of our base, right? Because my plan, everything that I've planned around, water will be here. Original patches will be here. So we won't have that much flexibility in our base. But if water is here, original patches are here, I think we can make anything with those conditions work. And then these could go around the power plant very easily. To be fair, they also use a lot of module buildings in their outposts. No, I mean, to be fair, they use inserter. They use electricity. That's really all there is to it. It has nothing to do with the modules. Like, it has some to do with the modules, but we also use modules in our outpost. The biggest thing is that they use electric drills as well, which are moduled. But if we look at our actual fuel consumption, if we convert that into power, we do consume about 5 or 6 gigawatts of fuel. So it's not that our power requirements is that much larger, it's just not in the form of electricity. So new one makes all reactors in a single complex like 2x4, and like old where it was just 16 reactor setups next to each other. Okay, so yeah, that's a lot smaller, I imagine. But yeah, the modules and the drills probably adds up a ton, right? Because they have 3 in each of them, which makes them cost twice as much as my burner drills. You think power should be kept in its own blueprint book, mostly for flexibility? It will be in its own blueprint book, but I don't think it's something we'll be pasting separately. I don't know. I haven't really seen how they do it. Actually, no, it doesn't matter how they do it. We'll be doing power with a controller. So the reason I want it to be built along with my base... The reason I want it to be built along with my base is because I need to make it as easy as possible to paste with the controller. So splitting it up for flexibility is important, but also being able to paste it without it being awful is also important. So we'll see. Let's see. Here's a question. Since this will create a ton of pollution, what about biters? What do you mean, what about biters? It's a 100% run. We don't have biters. I mean, we have biters, but they don't attack. I mostly said that because I thought I mentioned that at least like every couple streams. But yeah, this is done within all the conditions of a 100% run. So I can use any resources. I can turn pollution down. I can turn pollution spread off. I can't disable biters because that disables the achievements, but you can effectively disable biters by disabling pollution spread, which makes it that they don't really evolve, and they also don't attack unless you build near them. So we occasionally need to clear biters to get some patches, but it's not like biters are going to constantly attack us. But yeah, that's a fair question, if you forgot about that option. I was just confused, because I was worried that I actually accidentally implied that I was going to be fighting with biters. But no, we're not going to be repeating, what is it, Anti-Elite's 47-hour stream, because biters are on, and it has no blueprints. I think that was the gist of it, right? But yeah, that is a good point about keeping power flexible. How many entities is this? So my concern about keeping it flexible is that makes it far away from my base, which means build speed is going to be low. It's like, if I wanted my power plant to be on the other side of the lake, like here, that makes it a lot harder for bots to build. Also, I just realized we don't have roboports in here. That's not a huge problem, but it is something we need to keep in mind. And can turn off evolution expand. Oh, wait, you can... Oh, is that why they don't evolve? I thought that was just because they didn't absorb pollution. Okay, that... Oh, yeah, I guess that makes sense, because pollution has a time... Evolution has a time element. Cool. But easier... Which is easier to pipe water? I think it would be easiest to pipe water if it was part of the main blueprint, right? Or, oh, do you mean... Like, if I place it over here, it's easier to pipe water? What's the adjacent side of the lake? I mean, either way, it's got to be next to the lake. So, like, regardless, the lake's going to be here. We'll be pacing our base relative to the lake, which will make the startup a little bit slower, but it makes my blueprints a lot easier to handle later. Because, like I said, controller, a lot of our considerations are about what makes it easiest for me to pace something with the controller. Even if it makes it that it will be a little bit slower, I think it's a worthwhile trade to have more accuracy with that. Or more, less mistakes with the controller. I mean, the start will be slow. You're right. Yeah, the start will be slow. Whatever shall we do if the start is slow in my 12-hour run? The world's gonna end. But yeah, what do you mean by it's? What do you mean along the adjacent side of the lake? Like if the lake is here. Yeah, I guess I don't really know what adjacent is for a circle. Or how they place their stuff relative to the thing. Maybe I should just watch 100% run again. It's been a while. I didn't look too closely at the details initially. But yeah, we completely forgot roboports. Also, we need to do roboports in our entire base and power, but that's not important. The actual placement of all of those is not a huge deal. Why am I using substations? I think I have 2 designs in here that I alternate between. Yeah. Whatever side your base is on, the normal 100% run would then have it on the left side of the lake. I don't know what left side is in this instance. But I also don't know the orientation on their base, which is why I can't picture what left side is. Or is it just always left side? Like, no matter what, they just have the power plant here. But yeah, I can look at it. I can just look at an actual run. What is this for a design? So this is a speedrun base, but using to get every achievement, but it's using only burner inserters. The goal is to do it in about 12 to 16 hours in just one stream. Also, by the way, we'll be starting the stream at like 9 a.m. my time on a Sunday. I figured that was pretty obvious. That'll be pretty fair assumption that we'll be starting earlier, but I don't know if I've actually mentioned it that often. But this stream will start 3 hours earlier than normal, 3 to 4 hours earlier than normal, so I'm not awake until 4 a.m. Theoretically awake till 4 a.m. We could be off. We could have a really good run and be done in 12 hours, but I think that's incredibly unlikely. Normal would also have the plant solid fuel being made in the top left of the base to be hooked up to the plant. Okay, so this left of the base would be like here. Okay. So the solid fuel would be made away from the lake? Never mind, I don't follow. I'll figure it out. I'll just look up a run or like download one of the save maps and then I can figure out what orientation I want for the power plant. But the thing that matters right now is this should actually be flipped because more water is here, and if the lake's going to be here, we should rotate this. Okay, how do I want to add a roboport into this? Obviously, we can do bottom half pretty easily. I say that, but I'm having trouble placing them. But we can move these one tile. So we can fit roboports here. That would go up that high. And then technically, this is if I could place a roboport here, it's almost on construction range, but it's not quite. This is much more logistic with crappy burners, and he already have a nice design of direct insertion. Oh, you mean for, yeah. So for this one, direct insertion matters a lot for performance, so we don't really, so it's a good idea to have it direct fed. It wouldn't matter for a small power plant, but 400 chemical plants, if I can make them direct insertion, it's very nice. But yeah, it looks like we just need to put roboports here. I think if we shift every other one of these up like 4 tiles, we can put a Roboport in the middle and it should be fine. Actually, I say every other one of them, but actually, is it every one? I think it would be every other one. But yeah, our requirements are definitely different for the starting power plant. Mostly because most of our power isn't needed until bots. We can actually make do with like 2 hand-built power plants immediately and then go straight to our final design. We don't need an intermediate of using solid fuel because we produce solid fuel everywhere all the time. We just naturally won't have any issues getting solid fuel to our early patches. That's one benefit, I guess. We never have trouble with actual fuel. But yeah, we have a couple options here, actually. We could... If I wanted to make it a perfect square, we could do this. Right? So this would let us shift everything up by 4 tiles. And then we do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Kind of like do a zigzag. Yeah, we could also do gaps. Which has the greatest effect on water pressure? I guess doing the gaps would be better for water pressure, huh? Solid fuel stocks are going up. Yeah, oil prices are going to skyrocket after this. The amount of power, the amount of fuel we have going into just making fuel to be burned directly is crazy. Like, I think our estimate is our base is about 2 gigawatts. And like 1 gigawatt of that is going to processing fuel to get burned directly into like 5 gigawatts of like burner mining drills. It's really fun. Actually, what was my estimate for total power anyway? My total estimate was about like 25 belts of solid fuel, right? No, that's for max production, not average production. 600 times 150 plus 72 times, let's see, 42 times 2000 plus 360 times 90. Each outpost is 200 megawatts of solid fuel. Okay, so never mind. It's only 4 megawatts of solid fuel. Gaps might be somewhat worse for water, but could offset with pumps. Yeah, that's what I was thinking too. Although theoretically, we could just do the gaps with boilers, right? So if I shifted this up 4 tile or 6 tiles or whatever I end up doing, I could do an underground, but I could also just do 2 boilers in a row to make the gap. That might make it too large. I don't know how high the tolerance is. There won't be enough oil on the map. I was slightly concerned about that, and then I did a test, and yeah, oil's everywhere. We do have to drag some of the oil, like a couple hundred, 1 to 200 tiles with certain outposts, but we should be good. Surprisingly. Worst case scenario, we drag the pipe like 1,000 tiles from the starter patch. But yeah, gaps every 4th or 5th column. How many columns is it actually? I guess the logistics networks don't have to connect, right? In terms of build speed, I don't think I really need a ton here either. So, like, we could build this with... the charging time would be awful. But, yeah, we could theoretically build this with only 3 gaps. They're just not going to be connected logistically, and the build time is probably going to be horrendous. Which probably matters, because it is my power plant. You like the idea of the underground stacks? I think it's really cool. I don't know if it's worth it, but it probably looks really cool. So if we do an X pattern... Actually, wait, I don't think the X pattern... Does the X pattern solve what I really want? I'm not sure. You think... So the logic networks will connect, but they don't need to connect to every Roboport. Like, you want the networks to connect, but you don't necessarily need every Roboport to connect to everything. So you could do this, right? It's like these are still connected. It's just these bottom two aren't connected, so you can't walk from here to here and have your Logibots following you. But since it's the middle of the power plant, I don't think that matters. So when I say disconnected, I just meant disconnected between the power plant. Up top, they would have a row connecting them, and probably bottom as well. It just in between them, there would be gaps. And that would just make it that I can save on the gaps and only add 12 to the width of this. Maybe even, yeah, 12. I think 12 is the minimum I could do. Yeah. So I could make this only 12 wider if all the login networks didn't have to connect. I'm trying to think. The X pattern seemed really cool, but I don't actually see a way to make it work anymore. Like, it seemed promising. I guess it wouldn't be an X. I guess it's more like a zigzag. Hmm. Yeah, the problem with the X is it's just one of them up by 8 tiles and then the other by 4. Or I could shift everything up by 2 tiles. Or I could do everything by 12. Yeah, diamonds in general. We could do... I mean, I guess if we do 2 diamonds in a row, that's effectively just making it a square. It will end up very similar, just a square. The gaps really seem like the best option. I just like how compact this is. I know this is a lot of entities, but I think it's a lot of entities total when I look at this, and it's like, oh yeah, this is 6K entities, but I got to keep in mind that we're going to build this stretch right here. It's 178 times 1. Wait, how many boilers is this? So this stretch right here is 1,000 entities, and this gives me 228 times 1.8. 400 megawatts of power, which is enough for like 5 outposts. So I only need one of these every hour. You think the X pattern might only make it 4 boilers? Oh, 4 boilers. Yeah, 4 boilers taller I think could work, right? I guess I kind of deleted the X pattern, so I don't remember anymore what it was supposed to look like. The issue with the X pattern is I don't think we can't quite get the whole thing inside the one network. So what does the X pattern do? Was this the idea of the X pattern? I think this is the idea of the X pattern, right? Oh yeah, never mind. Yeah, that was the idea of the X pattern. Okay, so it makes one of them 4 boilers taller, and then the other one 2 boilers taller, right? Yeah. And then obviously we can compact this because there's no reason for it to be that small. Looking at the size of the undergrounds is better if you also consider staging the gap method is probably better. Yeah, staging the gap method does seem a lot easier. Because you could just have 1 power plant, 2 power plant, 3 power plant, 4 power plant. Although realistically, you could do that with this one too. You're just gonna have a lot of stuff that's only half built. What's better for charging speed? I guess with both of these designs, I guess with both of these designs, we can add more gaps to get more charges if we really want. How wide is this plant? It is 300 wide, so we would increase the size of it by 10%, and we could have something every 2 columns. Gosh, that's just so much easier to do. I like the fun idea. It seems... I don't think the benefit is very high, despite how much I like it. Okay, let's just cut this up. And then I think this is the old design. or the electric base design. Just don't rip to a single missing pipe like Derek constantly now with overpasting for more bots while each stage have pipes in it. How do you miss to a single ripped pipe in that scenario? Like, I get ripping to a pipe, but I'm not sure what makes that so spooky in this case. I don't know if spooky is the right word there. Probably not. Okay, so this is one column, right? Yeah, I'm trying to think of which pipe you could be missing here that causes that problem. And then this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So we could do this in 8 stages very easily. And then we need a 4 tile gap in between them. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4. And now we can fit RoboForts in between. Okay, will that work? Yes, and then these don't need this much water. Let's see, critical or water early on or oil getting to power. Oh, gotcha. So you rip because that one pipe isn't built. And then you don't get power, and then you brown out. That blueprint you just deleted, roughly the bottom left is where the power plant's power comes out. That blueprint I just deleted, roughly the bottom left. Oh, you mean this one? I got you. The sample of the original base. Right. Oh wait, I just realized I've been building it underneath a second power plant. That's the exact same. That's great. Okay, so each section, 200 water, 280 oil. So I want to aim for one pipe going into 3 of these for oil, and then water can be 2. No, let's assume that we're not going to be able to get water pressure more than 1,000. That seems reasonable, I think. Yeah. Yeah, that's a fair assumption. Water pressure is going to be limited to 1,000. So this says it uses this much oil. I think we actually do use this much oil pretty accurately. And then I actually want to leave... These run full speed, so I want to keep the 3 modules in them. Also, that's something I can remove if I change my mind. But since they're part of the base, they'll probably have no trouble getting the fuel. Okay, so I can do 3 sections from in a row from one pipe. Let's do that. I don't think we're so limited on water that I have to use exactly the right amount of water. Fortunately, that's the one thing of this base that's nice. So yeah, we just need to make sure we get one more in here. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so that should be able to fit RoboPorts down the middle. Now these don't connect logistically, do they? Oh, they do. Okay. And then this gives me plenty of room to have RoboPorts for expansion. So we would have that and then one more section. It's still roughly the same size as our actual base. And when I say roughly, I mean like almost exactly the same size as our original base, which makes it easy to get will make it easy to get the rails around. Do we just steal water pumps on lake from electric base to have them compacted like they should be? Yeah, probably. I imagine we can use those fairly easily. Surprisingly, I don't know if we need to steal the new cursed version that uses the like chemical plants as like quick turn 180s. But it would be nice. It would allow us to a little bit more wiggle room in terms of lake size. We really need to go through and get a water estimate again, which we should be able to get pretty soon. Actually, can we do a rate calculator? Does that tell us water? Yeah, okay. So once we get a water estimate, we'll have a better idea. That'll be nice. Actually, what even is the water requirement of this whole thing? 2,000. Okay, yeah, because it uses... Wait, will we be able to make that work? I guess that's what the pump setup is for. I mean, I guess theoretically, if we don't want to have to deal with getting the super weird pipe setup, we could have water come from both sides. That would work well enough. Okay. So I think this, I said, uses one pipe of water and one thing of oil, right? Yeah. I mean, I could technically use prod modules here. Full pressure would be needed for two. Yeah. If I want to use, I would have to use their blueprints if I wanted to do these. Like I would need a pump like every like 2 pipes segments. Factorio fluid system. Let's see. 2 segments is 3,000. 3 pipes is yeah. I would need a pump between every underground to make that work. 2K is a lot of water. Yeah. I guess the issue with that. Actually, wait a minute. Wait a minute. Would this work? So let's say we have a tank here, right? If I get 2 pipes with half pressure here, and then a pipe out, a pump out, would that give me the pressure I need? Yeah, the water pump only does 12K. They get combined. We get like 3 water pumps connected into a single section. I guess you might not know what the I don't have the cursed version, but I do have the older version of what the 100% water pipe looked like. Does this have it? Yeah. Okay, so this is roughly what the 100% base looked like. You have like 3 undergrounds going into immediately into a pump, pretty much. So each strip, each row of water has 3 water pumps going into it, and it pushes about like 2,000 water or like 2,500 water or so, something like that, because it has constant pipe pump setups. And then if it needs to make a turn, you can use tanks. Another option is to use boilers or chem plants if you need to make like a 180 or go straight. The pump boiler pump. Pump boiler pump sounds too expensive. I don't think we can supply that many boilers. Yeah, we'll definitely need to do something like that. But anyway, my question was, does this work to get me 2,000 water per second? Like if this had 1,200 and this had 1,200, and if these are both 1,200, this could output 2,400, right? Because I'm using the storage tank to combine them. Or I might have to do this. Boiler pump helps with 4K pressure. Ooh, 4K, nice. So we could theoretically divide that into 2 of these. Yeah, we might have to see how many pumps we're actually producing. I guess we can just increase our... Actually, wait, hold on. We don't need the pumps until really late in the run. Like early on, we need a few, but once we start needing like 50 at once, we'll have like 500 buffered. So I think pump production actually won't be an issue. We'll just need to make sure we have enough for like the starting power plant, and then this will last while we buffer like 500. So yeah, we'll probably be good. But yeah, this is my current idea. If we don't want to do like a super messy water, but we need to finish the plant first. Okay, so we need to make these connected. So water will come from this. Water is actually going to come from down here. Let's move that. So you also only need one of these like each hour, right? Um, one of these isn't like this. Not really. I need two, it's more like I need two of these every half hour towards the end of the run. Because I obviously don't want to build them early. I don't want to build them before my outposts if I can avoid it. So it's more like over the course of 3 hours, I need all of these to be pasted. So it's more like every half hour I need one. But because when it comes to pump production, average is all that matters, yeah, we're good. Use the first pump underground and pump boiler when nuclear kick to give the whole water there. Ah. That's so that they switch it like halfway whenever they care about water more. I guess that makes sense. Okay, so water's coming from the side. We can go through the middle. Also, nice trailer song. Always love it. Okay. We don't need this. We don't need this. We don't need this. Oil? I'm not actually sure where oil's going to come from. Oil's... Actually, no, that's silly. Oil's obviously going to come from the bottom down here. What is this? That's heavy oil. Okay, so we actually want to move this up one. Okay, so oil goes up, then it goes around. That can be moved. Underground. Undergrounds, undergrounds. Okay, so far so good. Okay, and then this is where it test lights, and we haven't redone this half yet. Okay, that seems good. Yeah, I probably should have done 1/3, one section at a time before redoing it, huh? Okay, before copying it. Okay, so this is the one that we copy over here, right? Yeah, that looks right. And obviously there's a lot of undergrounds that can be deleted, but we can clean those up. Actually, no, we should clean them up before we copy it like 3 times, huh? It would actually be... Would it be better? No. No, it would be the exact same. I was wondering if it would be better to go up and then down, but no, it would literally have no benefit. Okay, and then the pipes all come from the bottom. So this is the connection point. All the other ones can truncate here and here. So oil truncates on the bottom, water truncates on the top. That seems reasonable. I guess technically I could treat them as 3 connection points for oil, but 2 connection points for water. Honestly, almost 1 connection point for water would work. But realistically, I'll probably do 2. Because I think 2 has a decent benefit of being a lot easier to get. Like 1 less pipe of water is a nice save. It's worth it. Okay, that needs to go here, and then this can go here. Okay. So this should be something I can copy now. It looks like they're all connected, right? So if I undo all of them, and then we should also only have 1 infinity pipe there. Okay, so I think this is good. They all have water. This one's not connected to oil. That would be bad. That would be very bad. And that's why we checked before we copied it 3 more times. Okay, that looks a-okay. And then roboports will go down the middle. Roboports I'm not going to bother doing now, though. Yeah, very easy now to fit roboports all the way through for building speed. We can also throw them on the edge if we really need it. Okay, and then I think we can compact this and shift it down 1 tile, but looking at it, we can do that at the end very easily. But yeah, I definitely see if this goes down and this goes up, I see us being able to shave 2 tiles off of this. So you know what, let's just do that now. It's not hard, right? Okay, this is not... These are not connected. I guess I wasn't expecting them to be connected, was I? And then they need big electric poles going in between, probably. So something like that should work. I like how I have substations here. I have like a weird mix of substations and medium electric poles, which reminds me, why are these even here? Are they necessary? So that goes to the middle one. Oh yes, okay, these are necessary. It looks really weird, but we had to switch from using light oil to using solid oil. You can connect them by powering the roboports. Yeah, I figured they would connect to the roboport that's down here. But they could also connect through the top or wherever. So I guess I don't need to worry about that, huh? Okay, this looks pretty good. So now we take this and we copy it 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 tiles away. And then for this one, I guess I don't really want water to come through the side like this, do I? Does it really matter? It might not matter. I guess we can cut water through the middle, huh? Solid oil. Did I say solid oil? That seems like something I would say. I think I want water for all of these to come from the same side. I think it makes the planning phase a lot easier. Especially since I know I can do half the power plant with one thing of water. Right? Yeah, so this can do up to 5. Okay, so this water can keep going through here. Actually, wait a minute. How many do I have? This is 32 chem plants. This is 24. Okay, so this is 2/3 done. Yeah, okay. I counted right. So I can do 4 with 1 water. There we go. That's what we want. Frozen in very low temperatures. Yeah, exactly. You're not familiar with that water? You actually don't know, does oil freeze? At very low temperatures, probably. I mean, it should have some solid form, but it would also very likely separate, so it wouldn't be like one mixture of solid oil. I feel like it would fractionate at some point. Yeah, everything freezes at some point. Yeah, I guess by the time you get to 0 Kelvin, everything's will have frozen. Everything will have frozen. But yeah, we just need to connect one more thing of this with water. So that would be here. Will be connected. And then this is when it shifts up to here. And then we can just cut straight through. Okay. That seems good to me. Okay, so these first 4 are connected, the last 4 are connected. That leaves a little bit of wiggle room in the water too, because that's like 800 pressure or something like that. We're good. That's true. I didn't say I knew. I was speculating as well. You think helium doesn't freeze? Is getting to 0 Kelvin technically freezing? Because I guess, like, I guess that would get to the point where you're defining solids as having 0 motion, but that's not really the definition of a solid. It just has very similar definition to it. So I guess, I don't know. Would that be considered frozen? You're sure helium would... Yeah, we just need to get it 1 degree colder. You're onto something here. Okay, and then oil pipes. Every 3. Okay, I think I am happy with that. And this is 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Awesome. then I should just be able to copy this section 2 more times. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, and I should have 32. Yes. Okay, and then oil every 3. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4. Nope. We did not copy the pattern correctly. We were close, but we messed it up a little bit towards the end. Freezes at like 0.9. Okay. Don't think this will help me in life, but it's good to know. That'll come in handy whenever I'm trying to make solid fuel to fill my hot air balloon, huh? Let's see, this lines up. Here. But yeah, that wasn't sarcastic. That is interesting. It sounded a lot more sarcastic than I meant it to sound. Because I assumed it would be like at zeros when they consider it frozen. Ooh, that's true. If we get it to like 5,000 atmospheres of pressure, it might freeze at like 0.5 Kelvin. We're onto something there. That changes everything, doesn't it? Okay, so I think I need to stress test this, right? Oh gosh, I don't know how to do that, but I think we need to. Okay, so let's check our water. Okay, so water we have connected separately. That's good. Oil. I feel like I accidentally broke this oil. Once I switched to needing. I guess the only thing we had to change for water was this, huh? Yeah, so technically oil is connected through here. So ideally we should probably cut it to make sure the two can't help each other. Although with how the pipes are connected, I think they would balance themselves out because we're not like saturating the pipe that much, but obviously I'd rather not if I could. Okay. So this needs 3 connections. They'll probably all be done at the same section, right? Because theoretically, one thing of oil, one patch of oil should be able to supply enough. So yeah, let's make the assumption that we are connecting all 3 of them here. Okay. Yeah, that's not worth an underground. And then this goes here. Okay, I think this will be easy enough to connect. Now we just delete it all and make sure they actually do in fact all get oil again. Oil and water. Okay, those get water. This one is getting oil. Okay. Yeah, I guess they don't fill instantly. I probably should have waited a bit. Oil. Okay, I feel like these efficiency modules aren't that useful, but I guess they're also kind of free at this point. Because if I can reduce how much my base runs, I think it's kind of worth it, which is why I have the efficiency modules, because these will be running the whole time. If I can make the inserters run less often, that's good, which is what the efficiency modules will do, because they'll make the average power consumption a lot lower. Well, a little lower. Probably not a lot lower, but maybe like 10% lower. Although the power plant, I can't imagine the power plant is going to be our biggest source of performance hits. Okay, these last ones are not connected. Wait. How did I mess that up? How are they not connected? Wait, what? Oh, because, this was the end of the 3. That's why. That is why. Okay, that makes sense then. Oh, well, that was an easy fix. Has anyone heard of like Water 2? or like water or ice 2, ice 3. It is it's a weird like naming convention for like solids that exist but only under like very specific pressures. Because like water is weird, right? Like it's one of those things that expands as you freeze it, but if you give it enough pressure, it can freeze in like a less stable state without expanding because you're making it that it can't expand, and that's called like they just call it like ice 3 or ice 2. I don't think it's ice 2, but I don't know. It just sounds like one of those memes like, "Oh, if ice is so good, why isn't there an ice 3?" And I don't think there's any other way I can think about it other than that. It just seems so made up. But like the idea makes sense because like solids aren't defined, like ice isn't defined by the fact that it expands as it freezes. That's a very important property, but it's not like the definition of it. It's freezing. So they just are like, oh yeah, if it doesn't freeze like that, it's ice 2. But there is ice baby. And they say ice 2 times there. Oh my gosh. Is that what they've been talking about this whole time? I think it's ice 2. I might have the name wrong. Maybe it's like ice 3. But like someone just like put a number after the word ice. Yeah, ice dash 2. It's just ice that freezes at a very weird, like really high pressure. Because it's, you know, not expanding. There's actually like lots of types of ice, which makes sense. None of them are really things you run into, but like different sections of the, I think they have it defined in like different sections of them. I can't think of the word. The pressure graph. But yeah, useless information of the day. Ice 2 exists. Ice is rather unique in that property. Everything else that freezes condenses instead of expands. Yeah, exactly. Which is why like ice 2, just as a naming convention, feels weird. But it's just like, oh, this one's slightly different than normally would be, so we're just gonna add a 2 after that. It's like, you know what? I can't fault them for that. We've seen my naming scheme. We have seen my naming scheme. I can't judge anyone for just calling it ice 2. But yeah, I only found that out because like one of my friends was wondering like what happens if you try to freeze ice but it can't expand. It's like, you know what? That is a good question. I went down the rabbit hole learning about ice 2, and it is useless. It is useless to know. Like, I mean, there's a lot of things that are fun to know that aren't helpful, but that's definitely one of them of all time. Okay, I think we officially have enough stuff pasted that I know how much water I consume in my base. Please, please be under 100,000 per second. Which is the consumption? Oh my gosh, 80,000 per second. We won't have the worst time in the world getting water pipes. I'll take it. That does mean we need 80 separate water pipes throughout our base, or, you know, double pipes or quadruple pipes, however we want to do it, which is unfortunate. That's still a lot of water, but it's only 80,000. I was worried it was going to be like 100, 150. So I'm pretty happy with that. The power plant uses a lot less than I thought. 80 pipes of water going into a burner base is just wild to me. How much of that is the power plant alone, by the way? Oh, that makes sense. Like 80% of it, 90% of it. That's pretty high, right? 75 over 80. It's like 90, 95, somewhere in that range. Okay, so charging speed wise, I guess I want these. I guess RoboPorts are fairly cheap, and this is the whole we're not doing that many an hour thing. So I might as well have extra. Oh, that doesn't work. Okay. There we go. And then we could do more chargers if we really want to. I doubt it matters that much. Because at the end of the day, this is 600 entities every half an hour for like 3 hours. That's not significant. Yeah, and they use like 30 roboports for their whole power plant, which is way bigger. So I don't think bot charging speed is going to be a concern here. So that's nice. If we really wanted to, I think we can actually do every other. I don't think it's worth it, but it is an option. Wait, how are these? These connect weird. If I stagger them. I like that. Okay, how many is this? 21 roboports. Yeah, we can afford 21 roboports over this time frame. Actually, probably we'll put this down here as well to make it easier to connect oil. You can just use a single long. Oh, you're right. You're right. It should connect to the middle. Thank you. I keep forgetting that I'm using substations here. I'm so used to using wooden power poles in like every instance of the game that I forget that you can in fact use better power poles that have longer reach, that aren't just big electric poles that you use to connect outposts. What is bro building? So this is a base for a 100% speed run. But I am only using burner inserters, so I'll be getting every achievement in one stream, about 12 to 16 hours, I imagine, using burner inserters, burner drills, and no like electronic furnaces or anything like that. Electric furnaces. So this is the power plant for it. Now we're doing this purely vanilla, so we do still need some electricity for the assembly machines and the refineries and junk. So it's not everything is a burner, because I want it to be within the speedrun rules. So we have to do vanilla. We're doing vanilla. So we have the power plant set up. But most of the base looks like this with normal assembly machines. It just uses burner inserters, or we have burner drills everywhere. But yeah, we need a lot of power. If I want to complete it in like half a day, I need about 2 gigawatts of power, doing nothing but producing green chips for me. So that's what this is. And the turbines here are used to make the base a lot smaller. So you can make it more cheaply using steam engines, but it's not that much cheaper, but it makes it 30% wider. So I opted for slightly more expensive steam turbines that we still produce fast enough. And then I think this actually can be built by bots pretty much immediately. I think this will be one of the first things bots build. I need to figure out how much power my base uses before bots. Hand-built power plant estimate. There we go. Okay, so we need 80. I'm sorry, these numbers are insane. We need 80 pipes of water. So I think we need to use the pump setup. We might have to use the pump boiler setup, actually. Wait, can you stagger the pump boiler setup? No. Maybe? Is it just pump to boiler? Is there anything else to it? Boiler. I really haven't seen the design at all. Is this all there is to it? For anyone who actually knows. Or is there something more? So this could power 1, 2... This could power 3? Would that work? I don't know how I would split it. The 74 of them are just for the power plant, so you can just overload the lake. Yeah. I'm just thinking... I'm more concerned about how I'm actually going to get the water here. Because it seems a little bit wild. You know, maybe I'll flip it. I don't know which is better. Because if I'm thinking the lake is going to be here, if I do 74 separate pipes, that's obviously, that puts this entire thing 74 tiles away. So I want to have it, at least have it. So this would be, if we did individual pipes, it would be this far from our base. And pump tank if you want to turn a corner. Okay. So then that brings up the next question. Someone mentioned this has a throughput of about 4,000. Someone said this has a throughput of about 4,000. Can I split that into two? That would go like this, and then this is the part I'm concerned with. Oh, wait. That probably doesn't work. Does it? No. But maybe I could do something like this. That doesn't really work either. I guess I could just do this. This doesn't have a ton. This doesn't have a ton of pipe in between, so this would probably still have the pressure I need. And then I could use circuit logic to make it that this runs well. You should find a set of 100% blueprints. Yeah, I don't... Everyone just switched to uploading like the entire map save. Let's see, speedrun.com/Factorio. 100% run. Ooh, wait, they got sub 415 last week? Dude, or sub 415 last week? That's awesome. Yeah, everybody switched to just uploading the save file, which is fine, but it's one extra step for me to load the game because I don't actually keep Factorio updated on this save. But I think I have the Steam version I can use because I don't actually run the game through Steam anymore. Pumps can be a touch gross trying to split liquids. Yeah, that's why I'm worried because these actually consume 2,000 water, which means this might not be enough. You know, if these don't run fully, I think it's fine. Also, wait, how many pumps is this? I do know that this is 5% more than I can actually run. So it's actually more like 2,100 water. But divided by 2, that makes it complicated. Okay, 1 unit of pipe pump limits the total to 6,000 instead of 12,000. Okay. What was 4,000? Someone said 4,000 earlier. I don't know what that... Maybe they weren't referring to this. Okay, so 6,000 would be fine. And pumps can be a touch gross trying to split liquids. I think it will be fine, since if we're doing 6,000 into 4,000, that's reasonable. That's not the worst thing in the world. 6,000 into 4,000 means we have enough surplus that it will probably split fairly evenly. Or at least evenly enough. If it was barely over, I think we might struggle. But we can just have this activate if this is over 5,000 or something like that. I think we'll be okay. I mean, it's a whole lot of assumptions here, but, you know, we might be okay. Does anybody remember, where does Steam save Factorio? Is it users local? App data, or is it roaming? I want to say roaming. Okay, Factorio, second instance of Factorio. Let's see what this does to my stream. I'm going to turn off the music because there's going to be a separate music. This instance doesn't really make sounds. That should be fine. But yeah, let's see. If I can do 2 segments, how high would it be? So these are 4 high, right? With the way these are set up, I can do... It's 2 tiles per pipe. How much wider would it be if you cap the height to 20 boilers? Twice. But either way, even if we do that, we still have to do the fluid splitting because it would... I guess, or maybe we're trading that for just being able to do like 74 pipes here. So I guess that would be the advantage. So the height would be similar. It would make it shorter, but the width is a little bit troublesome. Actually, this reminds me. Do I want to be able to get... Do I care about getting rails out in this direction? I think if I just go around, I'll be fine. Okay. Let's see if it can load the right version of Factorio. Yeah, the width is pretty important, I think, especially for performance. Okay, is this working? Yes. Okay, so this is the 100% base. I'm running 2 instances of Factorio right now. So I imagine I won't be able to run this at full speed. But, I mean, you know, that's pretty good. Let's see what they produce. Let's look at their green chip production. I hate this. They can get 15 million green chips per hour. That's like 3 to 4 times. That's like 3 times what I'll be able to get. Anyway, we can see the power plant. I don't know what the default controls are for this game. I could not figure out how to open up the chat menu. Okay. Okay, I see what you mean. So the comment someone made earlier about where the solid fuel connects. They just have their power plant in the middle of their base. It's too late for us to do that. It would have been nice, but we can't convert it. 100 minis as last research good. It was limited by green circuits, but it was only 30 seconds. Oh, 100 minions as last research? Yeah, I'm fortunate enough that we will not be limited by minions unless we really royally screw up. But yeah, that's good. It was only 30 seconds. Not enough to make it go sub whatever hours. Okay, this is a cool design. Really haven't seen this one. This is a neat power plant. Okay, so their power plant does extend very far in the other direction. I see now why people were saying I can just make the blueprint separate, because this is very reasonable. Yeah, and that's the pre-power plant one. Unfortunately, we won't be able to do that. It's too late for us to do that, but one can dream. But honestly, it's not a huge deal because we use so much less power early on. Honestly, our starting like 38 long power plant will probably last us. I have to do those maths. I have to do the math though. Okay, so that's 116. So that's fun. We're only using 30% less water than someone who's producing 12. We're using 30% less water than someone who's producing 6 times the power. If someone needs a reference for how bad steam is compared to electricity. Okay, so they do... Okay, so they split the pumps halfway down the line. Okay. Where's the boiler setup? Okay, the boiler is for later on. I see, I see. What are these accumulators for? Wait, what is this? I'm sorry, that's how they pass... This is how they pass nuclear fuel. Is that to prevent... Is that to reduce how much backs up on the belt? Because that's hilarious. I don't know what this design is. But that is... what is this design? Yeah, I can see what it is. I just don't get why. That's what I want to... Why it is. Because entity count should not matter at this point. Was I right that it has to do with how much backs up on the belt? Reduce input lag? That matters, really? Okay. And then I know the belts are there because performance is better going inserter to belt to inserter. It's better than going to the ground. Okay, so something we can make this work. You don't know what that is, but Nephrim has a power plant inside the power plant for the pumps. What? What do you mean he has a power plant inside the power plant? Like he just has pumps on a dedicated network? You know, that's pretty smart. I I get that. Because otherwise the base could brown out. I don't think we're too concerned with brownouts, but maybe I guess they wouldn't really be recoverable easily. As power barely holds the switching to nuclear. Oh right. They have like a they don't have the nice organic expansion we have of not having to change fuel. So yay, one advantage to burners. You never have to switch past solid fuel, which means you never have a gap where you can't really expand power easily. Oh, that's probably what these are then. Maybe? I don't know. I actually don't know what these accumulators are. These could just be measuring stuff to see how well the base runs. Or just... I don't know. They're kind of just randomly in the middle, so it confuses me. Oh my gosh, that's a cool design. Oh, that's what you meant by 2x40. Okay, I didn't know what the 40 was. 2x40 reactors. Okay. That's neat. But yeah, power plant wise. Oh, wait, can you stagger them? No, we don't need to worry about staggering them. I don't like this. It's really nice, but I don't like it. But I don't think I know enough about how this works to adapt it to my base without just like full on just stealing it completely. Let's see, those are to turn some power only to pumps. Only power switches there. Oh, okay. Well, we'll take the blueprint anyway. You don't like it, but I'm going, yeah, that's the thing. I don't like it, but I do need something like this because I can only cut 30% of these. We could also be more picky when it comes to... I guess we'll just take the whole plant. We could be more picky when it comes to our lake. Like, if that's the only thing we have to be concerned with, we can just grab a bigger lake that's less messy. We'll still have to do this boiler pipe design, 100%, but... we have other options. Okay, export to string. Let's switch over to the other one, which you can't see right now because it's not in focus. I just realized I should have copied the landfill. Oh well. It's fine. I don't actually care that much where the pumps themselves go in the blueprint. Import string. Power plant. Landfill must be placed in a specific order or some pipes can't be placed. Okay. You know what? Let's look at the old power plant design. Cuz we could probably combine the two. I don't know. Is that landfill thing specific to this outpost? To this one? Cuz I'm worried about staged landfilling. We're not producing landfill. That's really easy to do. I don't have to be concerned with that. But we don't have landfill. We need very little of it. We just don't have it. We need like, what, a few hundred? Something like that. Let's see, they need 2x3 water when placed, but only needs 1 when already placed. Okay. That's confusing. So that means I would have to steal the whole blueprint book to make use of that. Okay. I was hoping for something that's a little less screwy to, little less difficult to mess up. I wonder if the old design is safer. Because there is this design. Because right now this is... Um, I don't know how much less water the old design has. I don't think it's that much lower. Because what I could do, I can combine the pump design, the boiler design of the old design, the new design, with the water pipe, with the water pump method of the old design. I think the combination of those could work really well. Because I think that will make it that I have a much nicer time connecting fuel here if I use this design. And then I think it will make the water a lot easier to handle. We'll see, I could be making that up completely. Or we could try making it from scratch. But I don't know. I don't think I'm smart enough for that. But I do like the idea of a safer old design. Is there any way to see just the pumps? Probably not, because I don't see why that would be a blueprint. I guess, yeah, theirs just has the landfill. Whereas if I go to... Right, you can see what I was doing. His blueprint book. Wait, where is the blueprint book? Is it actually in his inventory? Huh. Where's the blueprint book? Did I accidentally, like, drop it? Isn't... Or what? He doesn't, like, get rid of them at the end of the run, does he? I mean, I know that's not, like, required. I'm just surprised if that's probably not it, though. It's probably in the logistics chest. And it was, like, dumped whenever he was getting an achievement. Maybe? Oh, right. Right. If they kept it in this one. Then let's look for a different run. I guess the other option would be to watch the replay, maybe? I know there's a way for... I think there's a way to get blueprints from the replay, which is why the requirement is like one or the other or something. Yeah, the links in my hotbar, that part confused me. Okay, attempt number 2. Is this the right one? No, it's this one. Okay, this is anti-elites. Let's see if this has a blueprint book. I might just have to ask someone for the blueprint book. What's weird is, like, my inventory is empty, but that might just be part of it. That's probably just because of the logistics achievement, actually. I don't think that's weird at all. I'm just not used to the inventory being so empty at the end of a run. Because whenever you load someone's save, you play as them, yeah. Okay, I'll just have to get the blueprints from someone. Does this use the same power plant design? Oh, this is the old design. No, wait, no, is it? Why doesn't this look as cursed? No, it should be the same. Oh, thank you. That also works. You're currently staging the lake. Yeah, that's the part that I'm curious about. Okay, let's switch over. Factorio 1.01. There we go. And this will lag the game. Oh gosh, I think I might have pasted twice. Oh gosh, I hope this doesn't break things. That was a mistake. I just imported... I think I just pasted a 12 megabyte string twice in a row. Which makes sense that it didn't import. Now we wait again. But yeah, the water is the last thing in the run that I'm really concerned with. I think anything else I can do fairly easily by myself. But the water is the only thing I just don't understand at all for the 100% run. This seems like only the person who made it understands, and even then, do they really understand? Yeah, that's another option. If we roll for a bigger lake, we don't have to be as picky. Why doesn't it look staged here? Is that not the power plant? Or does it get... Oh, wait. Is it staged as part of the nuclear 1 and 2? Is that how it works? So this is the base. And then this stages it afterwards. Each one placing a little bit of landfill. Yeah, okay, I see. Each one's like 300 more landfill than the other. I just figured all the landfill is placed immediately. Oh, it's staged in... Wait, staged in main base? How is it staged in the main base? Do they build their base relative to the lake? Yeah, that's true. If we wait and just, just ignore the fact that we'll have to redesign our whole base. If we... that's the wrong blueprint. Derek's base. How did I misplace one of the only named things blueprint books I have? Derek. There we go. I forgot you can search. Okay, so it's staged in the main base? Oh. Like it's staged in the blueprints. It's not staged with the base, it's just in the blueprint book. Is that what you mean? Okay, I thought you meant like it was part of the main base blueprint. Okay, got it. Okay, I mean, I guess the staging isn't awful, right? Like, we can just copy that portion of the base. Our power plant itself looks so much different. We'd have to adapt it a ton. I wish I knew how much water this produced. Because I can't really look at this and tell how much is going into each row. How do they combine them anyway? Okay, so this combines 3 separate sets of 3 water. Okay, so 12 pumps. 12 pumps go into 1 tank, which goes into a series of boilers, moving 6,000 per second. So that makes sense. Wait, why is it 12 pumps? Did I miscount? And then this gets split very awkwardly. Okay. What is this tank for? Oh. I don't know what that tank is for, actually. Maybe to help with pressure. That looked like 4. Yeah, 4 lines per tank, and each line is 12 pumps, right? Surely they're not so underproducing that heavily. Should be 10. Okay, 10 into each boiler line, and they split them into like 4 separate rows. Okay, yeah, this is gonna be really hard to adapt to our split. I mean, it's possible, but it's difficult. Is the other one easier to adapt? That's the important question. Also, I should name this blueprint so I can search it. 100% old. Old electricity. I wasn't naming that. Whoops. That was not the right button. Where is it? There we go. 100% Old electric. Offshore pump is 1200, inline pump max is 12K. I thought that 12K was if you do like entirely pipe to pipe. And did I misread like 2 messages? Let's see. 1 unit of pump pipe limits throughput to 6,000. I thought that said pump boiler pump when you said that earlier. Okay, so each of the rows can move 10 to 12,000 ish. I don't know if it moves it perfectly. So each row moves 12,000 at a time and it gets split. Okay. Yeah, I completely misread when you said pipe earlier as pump and was like, oh, so with the boiler setup, you can only do 6K. So with the boiler setup, we can do, I'm assuming 12K if we have 10 pumps going into it, or at the very least, not somewhere between 6 and 12K. Okay, that makes it a little bit better. So we can take the general idea. If we use this for like the splitters, I think we can figure things out pretty easily. Let's look at the old design. Let's see if that water pump setup works for me. You think this is carefully designed to reach exactly 12K? That would make sense. I'm just surprised that if 10 pumps are going into it, that you actually get 12K out of it. I figured there would be some bottleneck before you even reach the pump system. Old electric base, there we go. Okay, and then there's this one, which has much easier connections. Yeah, we might just have to accept that we need a slightly larger lake, and that's the only thing we have to really roll for. I mean, well, I don't know. We're probably going to roll for, like, a while. Not a while. Sorry, I had a cough. Sorry. I needed water. Desperately. But yeah, I think by the powers combined, we can make something. We can make something work. We need 7. We only need 7 of these two, which helps. Only a little bit. For 4 hound, like the worst anti, what does that mean? I don't know what that means. 4 hound hours. Oh, design it for 4 hours? You're right. Maybe we shouldn't design it for 4 hours. It would take up an entire stream. You know what? Maybe tomorrow's stream will just be working on this, actually. It probably will take the whole stream. But it's also like the last big project we have, I think, right? Then it's just... Literally, Roboports can just go wherever. Oh, rolling for 4 hours. Oh, gosh. Imagine rolling for 4 hours for a 16-hour run. What if I... Okay, hear me out. The actual submission time would be like 24 hours, but I roll the night before, leave the stream up, go to bed, have a submission time of 1 day, but the actual run is only 12 hours after that. There we go. Perfect system. I will find the perfect map, and I will submit a 24 hours recording. Yeah, no, I'm not actually doing that, but this is something we could do. It is technically an option. But yeah, I'm pretty happy with our power plant. I think we could probably stagger it a little bit and make the water distribution a little bit better. But I don't think it's terrible. Let's see. I want to see how many pumps they do in a row. So it could be worth it for us to split this in half and then supplement water halfway down the lane. That doesn't complicate the design that much, but it might help a lot with pressure, so it is something I'm considering. I might have to unload this like this, actually, so that way I can send more this way if we actually get it to 12K or 8K. Because then we can do 4 sets of these and then we're good. Or 8 sets of those and then we're good. But yeah, lots to think about. We'll work on that tomorrow. Thanks so much for the help as always. Hopefully we can do this September 1st like I'm planning. Or we're definitely working hard. I think I'll do controller practice off stream the next couple weeks while I'm still designing it, so that way I don't have to spend time figuring out how the heck I use a controller. If we have time, I'll do the controller practice on stream so people can see how painful it is. But for the most part, I'll probably do a lot of that offline over the next couple weeks. And then I'm working on... I'm probably another couple weeks away from releasing the Burner Hunter video, but I am working on... I'm pretty much done with the script for that. I just need to record all the commentary and then do the editing whenever my allergies settle down, which allergy season's finally almost over, at least the worst part of it. So I can talk better. I still talk terribly, but I can talk better. Yeah, lots coming out the next couple weeks. Hope you all have a wonderful evening, and I'll see you all next time. Peace. Yeah, maybe not. We still have to finish up Red Wraith's run. But that would be good practice to just do a controller run for me run Monday. We'll think about it. But yeah, see ya.